It's time now for your local weather forecast. In LeGrand tonight, partly cloudy with a stray shower or thunderstorm possible, low of 57 degrees. For tomorrow, generally sunny skies and a high near 87. In Baker City tonight, partly cloudy with chance of shower or thunderstorm too, low of 57. And by tomorrow, mainly sunny with a few clouds and a high near 88. This weather forecast is brought to you by
Grand Ronde Hospital. For more than a century, our goal has been to help you get better so you can get back in the game and on with life.
Grand Ronde Hospital, big city medicine with a hometown touch.
Cabinets, windows, and doors. Cabinets, windows, doors.
Doc, what's wrong with our house?
She's worn and tired, needs an upgrade.
Anything, Doc. She's all we've got.
Cabinets, windows, doors.
I'm writing you a prescription for cabinets, windows, and doors. Fill it at Jefferson Street Supply today. For Huntwood cabinets, Cascade windows, and custom doors, free consultations, and they do the measuring.
Upgrade your home with Huntwood cabinets, Cascade windows, and custom doors at Jefferson Street Supply, 1507 Jefferson, LeGrand.
Oregon State football has returned to Reser Stadium for head coach Jonathan Smith's second season back with the Beavers. Single game tickets are available starting as low as $24 via phone or in person at the Gill box office. Prices vary by location. Don't miss any of the fantastic action this year. To secure your seats, call a representative at 541-737-2050 or visit beavertickets.com today.
Don't miss another season of the Lindy's Football Report on Super Talk Radio. Hi, everyone. I'm Graham Dunn, your host every Thursday evening at 5:30 and on Saturday mornings early at 4:30. Listen to me as well as my co-host Michael Butler discuss college football with insight from coaches, writers, and reporters, keeping you up to speed on all the big topics. So tune us in on KLBM in LeGrand and KBKR in beautiful Baker City. The Lindy's Football Report on Super Talk AM, the talk of Eastern Oregon.
Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care. I ever get back, so let's root for the home team. They don't win, it's a shame. 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game.
The Johnny Ballgame Show.
What up, Johnny Ballgame Show fans? And we welcome you to what we hope is your favorite sports talk radio program, brought to you by Bench Warmers Pub and Grill. And you can tell the enthusiasm, the energy level. I haven't even sipped my Red Bull in these Banner Bank studios yet because I am absolutely 100% committed, excited, whatever the hell you want to talk about. It is college football game day. It's a Thursday. It's essentially opening night for week one. You got college game day at Clemson right now. Clemson plays tonight. You're going to see Trevor Lawrence. You're going to see Dabo on the sidelines. You're going to see a team going for another consecutive championship run with the Clemson Tigers. And they play Georgia Tech. They're not playing Lollygag Tech. They're playing Georgia Tech, an ACC opponent. This game starts here in a couple of hours. Just many of them. Chip Kelly back with UCLA year 2. Year 1 was a stinking disaster. UCLA, a road game tonight in Cincinnati against the Bearcats. That's on ESPN here in about an hour. So we are locked. We are loaded. I got you for the full, the full 2.5 hours today. We'll get you to the Lindy's Football Report at 5:30 tonight. And go home, enjoy the Holy War, Utah versus BYU. You kidding me on that one? Texas A&M, Jimbo Fisher. They play Texas State. They'll hammer them, but they're playing tonight. I mean, there's a whole slate of games. Is the Pac-12 going to fall on its face as it did last weekend when it comes to the Arizona losing to Hawaii on the island malfunction? Kevin Sumlin, come on, man. Pac-12, UCLA, Cincinnati tonight. I think Cincinnati wins. Holy War, Utah, BYU. Utah better stinking win. Can you know how bad it's going to look for the Pac-12? Can you imagine how bad it's going to look for them if they drop those two games tonight? I think Arizona State might even be playing tonight too. They play Kent State. Is that tonight or is that on Saturday? So a lot to get to. I got NFL stuff as well. The NFL, if college just doesn't tickle the fancy the way the pros do for you, I get it. fantasy football drafts. I had another one last night. I know those are going up left and right. But the NFL, the kickoff of the 100th anniversary season of the National Football League, that's a week from tonight. Bears, Packers, Soldier Field, right? I don't think it's Lambeau Field. I think it's Soldier for this one, maybe not. But that's a week from tonight. Bears, Packers, as they kick off the NFL season. NFL fans, if you're really going to geek out on preseason NFL football tonight over regular season college, preseason week 4, every NFL team is playing tonight, including your Seattle Seahawks right across the hallway from me in Boomer Radio. Seahawks, Raiders tonight in the conclusion of another meaningless preseason. But every NFL team is playing tonight to close out, finally, the best thing about the preseason is when it's over. And the preseason will officially be over tonight. Hopefully no injuries that are going to ruin your fantasy teams if you've already drafted and whatnot. So, heck yeah, we have a heavy dose of football on this Thursday. Don't forget, Benchwarmers is your home for football season. Benchwarmers comes equipped with NFL Sunday Ticket for Sundays, with Pac-12 Network for Duck and Beaver fans on Saturdays, or whichever day that they end up playing those games on. Benchwarmers Pub, we'll see if we can get some EOU streamage as well throughout the season. Another football season for you at Benchies. I have one guest today, my main man from NBC Sports, Kevin McGuire, covers college football nationally, also the host of a very popular college football podcast called No 2-Minute Warning. Kevin and myself have been doing this since before he even got paid to do it. Kevin's been coming on this show since he was a blogger. Now he got the big gig with NBC. He writes for Athlon magazine as well. He's done stuff with USA Today, so it's nice to see his career take off the way it has. And he's always found time and made time for the Johnny Ballgame show. He'll join us this football season. This is the 10th year I've had him on every Thursday. That's a great segment. I play fun college music. We talk about previews and games coming up for tonight and the weekend. So don't miss that. Kevin McGuire today about 4:35. I got a little bit of baseball on the schedule today as well. And just going to have some fun as we do. Let's get you your top story, brought to you by Rockin' Sons Tire and Auto on this wonderful College Game Day Thursday. Let's get it. Opening night, as I said, and another opportunity for the Pac-12 to throw up all over itself while wetting the bed. This has been a conference, and I pick on the Pac-12 a lot because it's easy to. It angers me that I have to pick on the Pac-12, but it's deserved. It's deservedly so. The Pac-12 has not represented itself the way it has in past years in the last couple of seasons. They haven't been to a CFP playoff game since the 2016 year, so they've missed 2 consecutive playoffs. Nobody is picking the Pac-12 to represent in the CFP again this year. 2. You got Oregon, you got Washington. We'll see if there's any other wild cards, like a Utah maybe having one of those terrific years. But the Pac-12 kicks off again tonight with a couple more opportunities in the non-con. I was thinking about this, and I heard it on PTI earlier, and I think he was right. David Pollack was saying that the last legitimate non-conference game, big-time non-conference game, won by a Pac-12 team, you got to go back to the 2014 season with the Rose Bowl, the very first CFP, where Oregon just demolished Florida State. And that was a fun matchup. You had 2 Heisman Trophy winners face off. That never happens in college football. But Jameis Winston had a Heisman. Marcus Mariota had just won the Heisman. And Oregon just pulverized Florida State in that Rose Bowl. That game wasn't even close. And that was really the last time that people were all over the Pac-12. And unfortunately for the Ducks, a week later, they got smoked by Ohio State in that national championship game. But that's how far you got to go back. You guys, that's 5 years ago for the Pac-12 to get a big-time non-conference victory. Now, this isn't that. If UCLA beats Cincinnati, it'll be like, okay, finally, Chip Kelly, you've done something. I mean, Chip Kelly did beat USC last year, which that's a game that you have to win at UCLA, but it was the worst USC team probably in my lifetime. 5-7, no bowl game. But UCLA's not going to get a lot of street cred for beating the Nata today. No one's going to care. No one's going to care. Most people don't even know Chip Kelly is coaching at UCLA. I could go to the LeGrand Walmart right now and poll everybody there, say, hey, where's Chip Kelly coach? Oregon? You know, they wouldn't even know. Chip Kelly's kind of on that irrelevant status right now. In Utah at BYU, Utah's favored. They better win. So you're not going to get that opportunity tonight, but you will on Saturday. And that's where we're going, our Rockin' Sons Tire and Auto Top story. We got tomorrow to talk about this as well. We had legendary Duck play-by-play broadcaster Jerry Allen on this show earlier in the week talking about it. Jerry's World, Oregon versus Auburn. Now, let's be honest here. Auburn was what last year in the SEC? An above-average SEC team. Last year was not one of the classic Auburn Tiger football seasons. It wasn't. They were an upper mid-level SEC team last year. And they were in this game last year. And it was played in Atlanta in the house that Matt Ryan built. And they beat my Washington Huskies in this game last year. Well, what Washington do last year? Anybody? Hamana, Naga, not gonna work here anymore? Anybody remember what Washington did last year? Yeah, they won the Pac-12. They went to the Rose Bowl, lost a game that was probably closer than it should have been against the Ohio State University. Washington had a banner year. And when I say this, because, yeah, they actually hung a banner in that gorgeous Husky Stadium that says 2018 Pac-12 Conference Champions. Auburn was a mid-level, at best, SEC team, and Auburn beat Washington last year in this game. Well, kind of the same story's going now. First off, Duck fan, Auburn's favored in this thing. You know that, right? Auburn's favored by 3.5. That's not like a half a point. That's not like, oh, yeah, Auburn's favored by 1. It's basically a push. 3.5 is a decent spread. That means the experts in the desert, those folks in Vegas, they're not buying the Pac-12 for jack. They're saying, you know what? I'll take mid-level SEC over upper echelon Pac-12. And you know what? It's hard to disagree with them, right? I agree with them. I do. Because this year, Oregon's getting the buzz. Oregon is the highest-ranked Pac-12 team. What were they in the AP? 11? Auburn's like 16th, and again, that's mid-level SEC. Oregon's got the most experienced offensive line in the nation. They have the most experienced quarterback in the nation. Both running backs back. Defense. What is it? All in all, Oregon out of 22 starters, 17 are back from a team that went 9-4 last year in Coach Cristobal's first year. They're 3.5-point dogs in this game versus Auburn. And it's kind of the same thing we saw last year. Nobody's high on Auburn this year. Have you seen their schedule? It's darn near impossible. What are they? They're at Georgia. They're at Alabama. They're at Texas A&M. They play Oregon in a neutral non-con. Like, Auburn's schedule is murderer's row. They could have a great year and be 8-4. They could have a great team and be 8-4. I've been saying this for 2 weeks now. This game is more important for the conference than it is for Oregon. This game won't define Oregon's season. If Oregon lose, look what my Huskies did last year. They won the Pac-12. You think Husky fan right now is still crying in his doggy cereal because they lost to Auburn last year? No. Husky fan doesn't give a rip. They won the conference. They went to the Rose Bowl for the first time since the year 2000 with my main man Marcus Tuiasosopo. Beat Drew Brees in that Rose Bowl. Husky fan doesn't care that they lost to Auburn last year. Okay, whatever. They won their 10 games. They won their league. They went to the Rose Bowl. Good for them. And just like Oregon, if Oregon loses this game, but Oregon goes on to have the success that Washington had last year. Oregon wins the North. Say Oregon beats, say, Utah in the Pac-12 championship game. Oregon goes to the Rose Bowl. The Rose Bowl isn't a playoff game this year. Right? The Rose Bowl, Pac-12, if you don't make the playoffs, which they probably won't, hey, you still get to go to the Rose Bowl, which is the best consolation prize I've ever heard of. If you grew up in a Pac-10, Pac-12 culture, you know how important the Rose Bowl is. I know there's probably some diehard Pac-12 fans that would rather just have their team go to the Rose Bowl than even play in the CFP. That's how special the Rose Bowl is. And if Oregon ends this season in early January playing in Pasadena, they're not going to care about this Auburn game. I'll even tell Duck fans this. I'll ask Duck fans this, and I know most of them would agree. Hey, Duck fan, I'm going to make a deal with you. I'm the ghost of Rose Bowls past, and I'm going to make a deal with you, Duck fan. And I'm going to give you the dream harp scenario, you know? I'll tell you right now, Duck fan, I will guarantee you a spot in the Rose Bowl. But you got to lose to Auburn. You're going to lose to Auburn on Saturday. But I will guarantee you'll finish the season playing in the Rose Bowl. Duck fan, would you take that? You know, maybe some diehard Duck fans wouldn't because they think this team can win 11, 12 games and they want that Auburn win, and I get it. But you wouldn't take the other side of the coin. How about this, Duck fan? I'll guarantee that you beat Auburn. I'll guarantee it. You're going to beat Auburn, but you won't go to the Rose Bowl or the CFP. You'll be playing in the Las Vegas Bowl. You'll be playing in the Alamo Bowl. Would you take that? Of course not. You'd rather go to the Rose Bowl and lose to Auburn than beat Auburn and go to the Diamond Walnut Classic. The Cheez-It Bowl. That really exists. I'm not kidding. So it's not going to define Oregon's season if they lose this, but it's going to destroy what the Pac-12 wants to do. It's going to destroy the Pac-12 trying to get back for some national recognition and say, hey, dude, we can play with these guys. You know, I read an article today, Pac-12 Commissioner Larry Scott, who I've interviewed before. We need to get him on this show. Hopefully we will. But Larry Scott, Pac-12 commissioner, said, look, there's these mega palaces being built for football as we speak. One is in Las Vegas. One is in Los Angeles. Rams Chargers Stadium, and of course, the Vegas Raiders Stadium. They're being built as we speak. Now, to get some of these big neutral site non-con games out west in the Pacific time zone, Larry Scott, hey, you got to win in Jerry's world. You know, the Huskies needed to win last year in Atlanta against Auburn. If you want to make that a big draw, you want to get some Big 10, some Big 12 teams, hey, you want to get Clemson? You don't think Dabo Swinney would be like, hey, how about this? How about Oregon versus Clemson? One game, not a home and home, just one game, and you're playing it in fabulous Las Vegas in the newly constructed Raiders Stadium. I think they're calling it, Allegiant Stadium? How about that? Ducks, Tigers, Oregon, Clemson, Vegas. You have fun buying tickets for that one, Duck fans. A little pricey. When you want those big games, you got to win these big games. Rockin' Sons Tire and Auto, your top story on a Wednesday. Goodyear, the #1 brand in that business. And hey, Rockin' Sons, it doesn't get more local. It doesn't get more mom and pop than Rockin' Sons. And I say that, and that's a good thing. And the reason I do is they don't have a big, huge corporate sponsorship logo over them guaranteeing or forcing them to sell tires for a certain price. JB and his team at Rockin' Sons, they'll work with you. They can be flexible on their price. It's truly a mom and pop local establishment that, you can go in there and say, hey, here's what I got. Here's what we're doing. What can you do for me? Well, other businesses, big name tire places, you know where they are. They can't do that. They got a corporate mega center that demands what they sell the tires at. JB doesn't have that. And that's at Rockin' Sons Tire and Auto. Remember that when you're getting into the tire game. I got text messages. I got emails I want to read. We'll do that when we come back again. Johnny Ballgame Show, we love ya. Brought to you by Benchwarmers Pub and Grill.
Old West Federal Credit Union is sending a few lucky winners to the Pendleton Roundup this September. This is your chance to take part in all of the Rodeo Hall of Fame action. Contest entry is easy and anyone can enter. Simply stop by the Union, Baker, or LeGrand Old West Federal Credit Union branches and talk to a teller to enter. The drawing will take place at 5 p.m. September 5th, so don't wait. Stop by Old West Federal Credit Union in Baker, Union, or LeGrand today for your chance to win Pendleton Roundup tickets at Old West Federal Credit Union. Member NCUA.
Hello, Johnny.
Baby doll, just give me a second here. You were right. Not taking your car to Island City Speed Loop was a mega mistake. It's a mistake I've learned from, baby doll. Please.
Well, I would hope so. When it comes to maintenance for your dollar, there's no comparison to Island City Speed Loop.
I miss you. The cats, Mookie and Ray Ray, miss you.
Johnny, I can't. You taking my car to that third-rate chop shop was a deal breaker. Bye-bye, Ballgame.
Preserve your relationships with responsible vehicle maintenance at Island City Speed Loop.
It's got that atmospheric feeling to it.
This is Oregon football.
And it is intercepted. What race? It's over, baby.
Saturday, August 31st, Oregon opens up the 2019 season in Texas against Auburn.
First down and a lot more. There you go. Nope, you're not going to get it. Pick six. How about that? Unbelievable.
It's only on your home for Ducks football.
When you hear that roar, it's game time. It's big game time.
Boomer Radio, your home for the Oregon Ducks. You've tried it all. Opening the windows, cranking up the music, maybe even slapping your own face.
Come on, Doug, stay awake.
But it doesn't work. You're tired, you're behind the wheel, and you're dangerous. Wake up. Every year, drowsy drivers are responsible for thousands of crashes. So if you're yawning, veering out of your lane, or having trouble focusing, don't power through. Pull over and rest or take a quick walk. Drive alert. It's the way to go. A message from ODOT.
Boomer Radio in Union and Baker Counties is once again your home for Seattle Seahawks football. With legendary broadcaster Steve Rabel on the call, Seahawk games on the radio are can't-miss action. Every touchdown, every sack. Boomer Radio, 105.9 FM in LeGrand and 95.3 in Baker City. Seattle Seahawks football, one of the premier teams in the NFL. For an opportunity to broadcast your business's commercials during Hawks football, call Pacific Empire Radio at 963-4121.
About 30 minutes to kick off on a little place called Aspen. UCLA at Cincinnati. Some bigger games coming tonight. Wanted to transition. You know, we love our sports coverage here at Pacific Empire Radio. That's Super Talk. That's Boomer Radio. That's 98.7 The Ranch. Our cluster of stations, as they say. We love our sports coverage. And on this station, you're tuned into right now, the talk of Eastern Oregon, Super Talk Radio, Oregon State Beavers football, Boise State Broncos football, and Portland Trailblazers basketball. By the way, Kevin Calabro, Blazer TV voice, coming on this show on Tuesday. Beyond excited for that one. But yeah, we air Boise State football. Now, now our coverage has been changed a little bit because there was a hurricane threat, Hurricane Dorian, and it was announced earlier today that the Florida State versus Boise State game has been moved from its neutral, with quotations, neutral location in Jacksonville to Tallahassee at Doak Campbell Stadium on the campus of Florida State University. So, a benefit for Florida State. They were going to have to play in Jacksonville where the Jags play. Now they get to play at home. Good for them. This was a home and home, by the way. So Boise State fans, if you're crying about this, look, this should have been Florida State's home game anyway. I think Boise State was lucky that Florida State was even willing to play in Jacksonville. Next year, Florida State goes to the Blue. I'm not joking. The Seminoles are going to be on the Blue this time next year. Talk about a megaplex game that's going to be. But this game has been moved, and it did have a 7 p.m. Eastern time kickoff, 4 p.m. Pacific. Now it's going to take place at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. That also hurts Boise State. Just your mental, just your clock, your body clock. That's going to be 10 a.m. Mountain Time. So a couple of advantages there for Florida State. And by the way, the TV coverage is no longer on ESPN or ABC. Now it's on ESPN News. So it's going to take a ratings hit as well. I mean, a game that should have a little more oomph, a little more luster, a little more sex appeal. What are you going to do? It's hurricane season in Florida, like I talked about on this show yesterday. Why are they always playing all these games in Florida, week 1, week 0? It's hurricane season. It's like in Major League Baseball. Don't play in Cleveland the opening series of the year. There's still snow on the ground. Anyway, I mean, this happens every year in college football. Games get moved, games get postponed because it's hurricane season. Anyway, so that's the case. So now for Boise State in this game where, again, the coverage has moved. We were going to air our pregame show at 3 p.m. Now it's going to air at 8 a.m. right here on Super Talk Radio. I'll be honest, for my perspective, I love it. Because I didn't want to have to watch simultaneously, and I have 3 TVs mounted on my wall in my house right now for football season. So I'm watching these games, but I mean, I didn't love the fact that the Oregon Auburn game was going on at the same time as Boise State, Florida State. Now I'll be able to watch both games without, having to creep on over and see what else is going on. I mean, for me, the big game on Saturday is Oregon versus Auburn. That's the big one. That's the biggie. But I'm very interested in Boise State, Florida State. I want to see if Boise State can pull this off. I mean, Duck fans, you know this. Boise State swept Oregon in a home and home in, what was it, 08, 09? Duck fans are still ticked off about that crap. Boise State versus, Virginia Tech in 2010. Boise State versus Georgia in 2011. They whooped them. I mean, Boise State has, and a lot of that was Kellen Moore era, and they're out of the Kellen Moore era by almost a decade now. So we'll see, and a lot of that was Chris Peterson. Chris Peterson's been at Washington for half a decade now. It's a different look for Boise State. My opinion for Boise State, go back and be the blue-collar team. A lot of times, and it's tough not to. The Fiesta Bowls, the proposals, the Statue of Liberties, the hook and ladders. I mean, Boise State, I felt, and I was in that town on ESPN radio in Boise for 4 years, and I thought, it's my opinion, that fan base, and rightfully so, got a little too big for its britches. Got a little too big for those britches. Rightfully so. Like, how would you not? You're winning all these games. I mean, in the Kellen Moore era, you went 50-3. Nobody does that. I don't care what conference you're in. That's tracking down a cephalopoid on foot. Nobody does that. Will Smith, opening scene, Men in Black, that's it. He tracked down a cephalopoid on foot. That doesn't happen. So I get it. Where Boise State got, maybe its head grew a little bit there. Sure. But I think they got to get back to the roots of that program, which is blue collar. Nobody cares. Nobody respects us. Nobody will. Nobody has. And we're going to fight our tail off. And we're going to schedule games, try to get big opponents. And when we get them, we're going to beat them. And they kind of lost their way in that a little bit. It's tough when you go, from being the underdog to the favorite. It's a weird transition, And that happens sometimes in sports. When you go from the villain to the hero, that happens sometimes. And it's a tough transition to make. I mean, when you go from Cinderella to the princess. You need any more analogies, or are we good? I think we're good, Ballgame. I think we're good. So it's an interesting deal. But, yeah, just a big FYI, the Boise State-Florida State game has been moved Pacific time, Saturday, 9 a.m. So you wake up with your cup of coffee and your Boise State-Florida State football game. Cool. Cool with me. It was going to start at 4 p.m. Now it's starting at 9 a.m. early Saturday morning. Fun for me. Those morning games, usually there's never any good games on anyway. But, yeah. Ball Game Show, Benchwarmers Pub and Grill. What do we have here? Email, Goss Motors. This is from Jason. Jason says, Johnny, I don't have ACC network. Can I come over to your house tonight and watch the Clemson game? That's a weird deal. And ESPN, not a good move. Not going to work here anymore. Here's what's going on. Tonight is the debut of the ACC network, the first game they're ever airing. So naturally, they're going to the flagship football program in the ACC right now, Clemson. And they're playing this game tonight, Georgia Tech at Clemson, on the ACC network. Now, if you have Dish Network, you don't get the ACC network. If you have Cox, Cable, or Charter, whatever the heck those are, you don't have the ACC network yet. So the ACC network, which I believe is owned by ESPN, why are you going to put this game on ACC network? You're just going to tick people off. Especially, look, if I'm a Dish Network subscriber, I'm not going to go over to DirecTV just for the ACC network. Am I? Especially not for one game. Stop making it an uphill swim for your viewers. ESPN, you got the family of networks. Don't play this game on your ACC network. Play this game on ESPN. And they're not doing that. Again, I think that's a mistake, because there's a lot of people out there that want to watch Clemson tonight. And oh my gosh, there's a lot of people with digital cable, and there's a lot of people with Dish Network, and those folks don't get ACC Network yet because they're still in stupid contract negotiations. Like DirecTV, I'm a customer. I don't have CBS yet. What the hell? I mean, what games am I going to miss on Saturday that are on CBS? SEC games? Oh man, I'm hot. I'm mad. I don't even want to think about that. I'm mad already. These negotiations, look, here's the deal with networks. Here's the deal with satellite and cable providers. Dude, we don't need you anymore. We don't. We got our Netflix, Hulu, Amazon, hell, Kodi. We got our shiz, man. We're good. We're not reliant completely upon you guys on the TV side of things anymore. So, yeah, you might have to adjust. Might have to lower a price here or there to keep your remaining customers happy. The only reason I have DirecTV is because of sports. Once they come out with a way for me to get all the live sports I need, and I get it, Hulu has live sports. I've seen those ads too. Not the way I need it, okay? That's the only reason I even have it, and my DirecTV bill is way too expensive. I'm paying way too much. I mean, for Netflix... First off, most people don't even have a Netflix account. You just have your buddy's password. I have my girlfriend's Netflix password. I don't pay anything for Netflix. Anyway. Yeah, that's a bummer, and I appreciate the email on the Goss Motors inbox. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of people, Clemson alums, Clemson fans, that can't watch their team play against Georgia Tech. It's a pretty big game. because, ACC network isn't on every single cable and satellite provider, as it probably should be. Pac-12 network has never been on DirecTV. Still irritates me. But not enough that I'm going to switch my service. I need my Sunday ticket, or at least I have before. Ballgame Show, Benchwarmers Pub and Grill. Shout out to my boy, Carl Bommy Boy Bombage. Swung by Carl at the Oregon Trail Trader earlier this week. He does have the largest selection of firearms in Eastern Oregon. I've seen it in person. This is not a pawn shop. Perfect for the true Eastern Oregonian. I'm talking you, hunters, fishers, campers. Go see Carl Baum for firearms and everything else. The best brands, the best supplies, reloading supplies, you name it, on the east end of Adams Avenue. Carl Baum sells it. The Oregon Trail Trader. This place is a gold mine down there. Dude, seriously, go to the Oregon Trail Trader. They pull up a seat. They have their coffee there. And they're talking about awesome stuff. I'm telling you. Oregon Trail Trader. Carl Baum does a terrific job. How about the NFL? To switch gears a little bit here. Dude, I got a few teams in the NFL that I think are going to be much better than people are saying or people are giving them credit on. I got a few sneaky teams that I think might be, again, a lot more competitive than people think. That's where I want to go. Ballgame Show, Benchwarmers Pub and Grill.
It's time now for your local weather forecast. In the Grand tonight, partly cloudy with a stray shower or thunderstorm possible, low of 57 degrees. For tomorrow, generally sunny skies and a high near 87. In Baker City tonight, partly cloudy with chance of shower or thunderstorm too, low of 57. And by tomorrow, mainly sunny with a few clouds and a high near 88. This weather forecast is brought to you by
Grand Ronde Hospital. For more than a century, our goal has been to help you get better so you can get back in the game and on with life.
Grand Ronde Hospital, big city medicine with a hometown touch.
It's time to wash off the grime at Island Express Lube and Car Wash. Treat your vehicle to a thorough wash in the gentle touch of the only hand-attended pre-wash in the valley, followed with automated fabric scrub down and finished with the perfect polish, sealant, and wax. Every wash features underspray, keeping your vehicle free of dust, grime, and corrosive buildup. No extra charge, just extra value. And don't forget about Double Punch Tuesdays. Clean and protect now at family-owned Island Express Car Wash in Island City.
Hey folks, Dave Ramsey here. Listen to the Dave Ramsey Show on your local news talk station, KLBM and KBKR, 1450 and 1490 AM.
The Dave Ramsey Show on Super Talk Radio is brought to you by Catherine Bailey of Edward Jones in Baker City. Your retirement deserves the attention of a personalized financial strategy backed by the advice, tools, and resources of Edward Jones. Contact Catherine Bailey at Edward Jones, Making Sense of Investing, member SIPC.
Informer, you know, say that I'm a stormy, I go glam. I like you bum bum down. Take the man that say that I'm a stormy, stab somewhere down the lane. I like you bum bum down. Informer, you know, say that I'm a stormy, I go glam. I like you bum bum down. Take the man that say that I'm a stormy, stab somewhere down the lane. I like you bum bum down. He said I'm gonna come in and they blow down my door. Bring it apart through my window, so they put me in the back the car at the station. From that point on, I reached my destination. Where the destination reaching out of east detention.
Remember this little ditty? Little Snow for you? This was a mega hit. I'm not joking. If you're in your late 30s to mid 40s right now, you remember when Snow, I mean, I'm a Seattle guy, KUBE 93.3 FM, and this is playing 3 times an hour back. What was this, 91? 92, a little Snow. Appreciate everybody hanging out with us on the Johnny Ballgame Show, brought to you by Benchwarmers Pub and Grill Monday through Friday from 3 to 6 today. I turn the mic off at 5:30 to get you to the Lindy's Football Report. Quick shout out, I will open the phone lines, the Farmers Insurance Hotline. That's 541-963-4122. Use it, don't abuse it. Johnny Ballgame Show, Farmers Insurance Hotline, 963-4122. A couple of teams, and I'm going to cue my favorite music ever, the NFL primetime stuff. We're going to switch over to the National Football League. And I'm going to tell you, okay, it's real easy peasy to go through your NFL list and tell everybody who's going to make the playoffs and who isn't. who's going to reach the Super Bowl and who won't. Now, I'm not exactly taking that big of a step. I'm just saying there's certain teams, okay, that I think are going to be better than people are giving them credit for, okay? And I'm going to start with one team that's getting no love, but I actually think they're going to be pretty stinking competitive. And I'm going to start with my boy B.A., Bruce Arians. Bruce Arians is coaching the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, okay? Bruce Arians has won wherever he's been, and that's pretty much as a coordinator or a head coach. Bruce Arians in the, early 90s won as a head coach at Temple. Before anybody even knew Temple had a football program, B.A. was winning there. Look, Jameis Winston has a lot of ability, and if anybody's going to get anything out of that ability, I think it's going to be Bruce Arians. I like B.A., obviously. I just think there's some playmakers here. How is Tampa Bay going to be so bad? Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, at receiver, they're taking a shot at Brashad Perriman, another former first-round pick. O.J. Howard's a first-round pick at tight end. Jameis Winston's the first overall pick. You know, their offensive lineman is cluttered. Their offensive line is cluttered with second, third-round picks. Their running game, it's a little interesting. I don't know what Ronald Jones is going to do year 2. Peyton Barber, I think, he is what he is. So they might not have the greatest running attack in the league, but look, there's just some playmakers around there defensively too. You know, they went defense in the draft. They took that Devin White kid first round. They took Sean Murphy Bunting, the corner, round 2. They took another corner and another safety in round 3. They had 2 third round picks. They took another linebacker in round 4. I mean, they loaded up on that defense. And look, guys in the NFL, you can come in and be good as a rookie defensively. You really can. It's not a huge learning curve from college football to the NFL when you're rushing the passer or when you're covering a dude at some time. Look, I like their defensive coordinator, Todd Bowles, former head coach of the Jets. I like what Bruce Arians does. Like I said, I think Tampa Bay is going to be a lot more competitive than anybody's going to give them credit for. Now, they might be 6-10, but they're going to be a scrappy 6-10. And they'll beat a couple teams that they shouldn't, and they'll probably lose to a couple of teams that they shouldn't. Don't sleep on Tampa Bay. I like their roster, and I like their coaching staff. And this decision-making, again, that's a team that I think will be better than you think. Another team, and I'm getting a lot of heat on this one, but I think when A.J. Green comes back healthy, I think the Cincinnati Bengals are going to be able to move the football. By the way, there's this kid, a rookie named Damian Williams, who's been the best wide receiver in the preseason. He plays for Cincinnati. Maybe you remember the name from Last Chance U. He was on that documentary. He played at East Mississippi Junior College. But, okay, I like the Zach Hill hire. He's a Sean McVay guy. If this guy knows anything about moving the football, learning from Sean McVay, then it's going to help compared to what they were doing the last couple of years. Andy Dalton, I've seen him have good years before. Joe Mixon, Giovanni Bernard, I like them in the backfield. I like Tyler Boyd. I love A.J. Green. I mentioned the Damian Willis kid. If John Ross, former first-rounder, can do anything at all, dude, that's a lot of playmakers for Andy Dalton. Offensive line is going to be a miss. That's going to be a mess. Jonah Williams, that injury really hurt them. But they still have Andre Smith, a former first-rounder. They have Billy Price at center. He's a first-rounder at center. Not a lot of first-round centers out there. But Cincinnati, look, I'm not predicting playoffs. I'm just saying I like some of their talent. I like some of their playmakers. You know, we'll see what they do defensively. Carlos Dunlop, Geno Atkins, feels like they've been there forever. They essentially have. They're still there. Dre, beats by Dre Kirkpatrick. Get my boomer on. He's still there. I don't know. I mean, look, they're not going to go to the playoffs or anything, but don't think that the Bengals are going to be this 2-14 complete joke. In my opinion, they won't be. Another team that I think will be better than you will give it credit for. Now, again, offensive line is the issue. I mean, this team was taking former Seahawk linemen that Seattle was cutting. Reese Odiombo, the Sweeze, J.R. Sweezy. I'm talking about the Arizona Cardinals. Now, Cliff Kingsbury makes me nervous. But Vance Joseph, a former head coach running the defense, we'll see if that can get a little better. They brought in Terrell Suggs. Chandler Jones has had more sacks than any other player in football the last 2 or 3 years, so they can rush the passer. Budda Baker's a future Pro Bowler. Patrick Peterson, he's a Pro Bowler. DJ Swearinger can fly around on this defense that I think the Cardinals, it'll be an improved defense, okay? But offensively, again, I mean, Christian Kirk, I think, is going to have a nice year. David Johnson's a Pro Bowl caliber running back. Can you get anything from Fitz? You took the Andy Isabella kid in the second round. I didn't like it, but hey, we'll see. The Keyshawn Johnson kid had a nice camp. Michael Crabtree, you just picked up. And it all comes down to, again, a guy that I think is going to have a good year, Kyler Murray. I think he's going to be tough to stop. I think if they can protect him at all, I think he's going to run around. He's going to make it hell for a lot of defenses. You're literally not going to be able to catch him. And again, for me, it's on the coach here. If Cliff Kingsbury can figure this out, I think Arizona is going to be better than people think. They're going to be one of those teams that you don't really want to play. You know, everybody's going to expect you to win. They'll have nothing to lose. They're not going to the playoffs, but they're going to be scrappy. Those 3 teams stand out. Tampa Bay, Cincinnati, and Arizona. People are saying those will be the 3 worst teams in the league. Hey, maybe they will. I'm not telling you to call your bookie and bet them to win the Super Bowl. Hell no. I'm just saying, I like what they're building. I like what's brewing there. I like what they're doing. Now, maybe they're a year, 2, 3 away, whatever the case. Especially, look, that Tampa Bay team. Bruce Arians knows what he's doing. And he has a lot of talent in Tampa there. Why do you think he wanted that gig? That roster is loaded. Tampa Bay hasn't made the playoffs for a decade. They have good picks every year. Those add up. Johnny Ballgame Show. Benchwarmers Pub and Grill. Yeah, those picks add up. Didn't they, they let, I'm sorry, I forgot. Yeah, they brought in Ndamukong Suh, too, also. Yeah, my bad. I forgot about Ndamukong Suh. From Oregon. Grant High School in Portland. Ndamukong Suh. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, I think those teams will be better than folks are giving them credit for. Ballgame Show, Benchwarmers Pub and Grill. Make sure, no matter the policy, that you're talking to my boy Greg Blackman over there at Farmers Insurance, 1430 Washington Avenue. Full service agency. Greg, big sports guy. 3-time College World Series champion at the NAIA level with LCSC, the Warriors up there, who's a hell of a pitcher in college. His kid's up there right now. That's Farmers Insurance, Greg Blackman, here on the Johnny Ballgame Show. We'll be back. Benchwarmers Pub and Grill.
Johnny Ballgame here, talking about my team at All Air HVAC. I love those guys. Look, it gets hot in my studio during the summer. We've tried all types of AC units, from ones that hang out of the window to your basic house fan. Shocker, they didn't get the job done. Then I got my boss to call All Air HVAC, and they installed an entire unit. Now we're cool in the summer and toasty in the winter. And the team at All Air HVAC were total pros also. Heating and cooling systems for residential and commercial. All Air HVAC. Take my word for it.
Your perfect pistol. You like how it feels in your hand. A natural extension of your body. Selected and customized for your shooting style. Now carrying is another matter. Not all holsters are a match made in heaven for gun, owner, and carry preferences. Not until Windhill. Windhill delivers a natural carry experience for any style and any carry configuration. Custom holsters and custom rigging for any handgun. Windhill Kydex holsters. Carry how you like it. Have it when you need it. Windhill holsters in Bearco Loop, LeGrand.
It's time now for a community calendar update. The LeGrand Farmers Market takes place every Saturday morning from 9 a.m. until noon at Mack Square in downtown LeGrand, and every Tuesday afternoon from 3:30 to 6. Enjoy fresh local produce, baked goods, arts, crafts, live demonstrations, music, and more. For a schedule of upcoming events, visit legrandfarmersmarket.org. Grand Ronde Radio Amateurs Association is inviting everyone to attend their monthly business meeting every fourth Tuesday of the month. The meeting is held at the LeGrand Fire Station classroom starting at 6 p.m. If you have ever been interested in ham radio or are curious about it, this is a great meeting to attend to ask questions about the hobby and the service. For more information, contact Tyson at 541-910-2784 or visit w7gra.org. This community calendar update is brought to you by LeGrand Gold and Silver, family-owned and managed, and your trusted local experts for fine jewelry and precious metals. Shop LeGrand Gold and Silver's full line of quality jewelry, gifts, and coins.
Of the night, for me, honestly, I'm not going to go Clemson, Georgia Tech. I'm going to go the Holy War. I mean, that's a big game in the state of Utah. A 7:15 Pacific time kick and Pac-12. I mean, Utah's got a lot of hype. Don't go blowing this losing to BYU. That's my game of the night, brought to you by LeGrand Stereo and Music, where it's still about the music. They won't just sell you a guitar. No, they'll teach you how to play the guitar, too. They offer lessons, open 7 days a week. I've heard this before, and it makes sense to me. My boy A.O. Texting the show saying, Johnny, why don't the Seahawks make a trade to Cincinnati for John Ross? They could probably get him for a 4th or 5th rounder, and Seattle obviously needs receiver help. John Ross played his college ball at Washington, as most people know. He had the second fastest 40 time in the history of the combine, recorded 40-yard dashes, at least under the new electric time, how they do. I mean, John Ross flat out flies. He's honestly the fastest dude in the NFL. And it hasn't worked out in Cincinnati. Everybody knows this. It has not worked. And Cincinnati, make no mistake about it, they're not going to be picking up his 5th-year option. I mean, he's going to have a tremendous year for them to do that. A.O., I'm with you. It makes sense on that level. I mean, the Seahawks could probably get John Ross for a 6th rounder. That's how desperate, in my opinion, the Bengals will be to get rid of him. They love the Willis kid they're developing. They like Tyler Boyd, who they've developed. A.J. Green is coming back. They like their tight ends. They like Tyler Eifert. Like I said, if they get anything out of that O-line this year in Cincinnati, and Zach Taylor really is this Sean McVay disciple guy who knows his shiz, Cincinnati's gonna move the football. They'll score on you. There's just a lot of players there. There's a lot of dudes you got to pay attention to. Mixon and Gio, those are 2 good backs. Here's the only issue I have, A.O. I have an issue with John Ross's contract. He's a 1st rounder. So, like this year, he's got a cap number of 4.6. Like, I really don't want to have to pay John Ross 4.6. But worse, next year, he's got a cap hit of 5.4. But, and just like, if it's not going to work out with John Ross, and it looks like that's the case, he's 5'11", he's 185 pounds, again, a speed demon, but he can't see the field. And that was the case in college for anybody who follows Pac-12 or Washington Husky football. John Ross had like one John Ross, in the 1 year he was healthy, had the best season any Husky wide receiver has ever had, with all due respect to Mario Bailey and to Reggie Williams and some other great Husky receivers. John Ross, in 2016, when they went to the playoffs, he was unguardable. Go back and look at his combine. Go back and look at his draft bio. The little splash reel of highlights, it's breathtaking. But he can't stay healthy. But could you imagine if it did work? Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf, John Ross. I mean, that's a lot of speed. DK ran in the low 4.3s, and he's a brick outhouse. Tyler Lockett had a 158.3 quarterback rating throwing to him yesterday. That's perfect. Last year, I mean. And then, you got John Ross, who's arguably the fastest player in the entire NFL. And you could probably get him for a 5th or 6th round. Cincinnati, at this point, in my opinion, would cut its losses. I mean, unless he's having a terrific camp. And to be honest, I haven't heard anything about John Ross in training camp. Have you? Is he playing? He's probably nursing some type of injury. I'm reading something from John Ross returning from hamstring injury. Yeah. The Cincinnati Enquirer reporting that John Ross should have a valuable role this season. I've heard that before. Of course, Zach Taylor's going to say stuff like that. Yeah, sure. John Ross is an interesting cat because he was discovered, he was discovered by Snoop Dogg. You ever heard the John Ross story? Snoop Dogg has the SYFL, the Snoop Youth Football League. And say what you want about Snoop Dogg, he doesn't charge kids and parents to play in that league. He fronts the bill. Snoop Dogg has spent millions of his own dollars helping inner city kids in Los Angeles play football. It's pretty swell guy, if you ask me. And Snoop said the first time he saw John Ross, he saw some 6-year-old, 7-year-old running in a parking lot flying. He said, "Who's that kid?" And Snoop Dogg's been like an uncle to John Ross and a mentor. And I'd love to see it work for him. I would. And obviously, me being a Husky guy, I'm a fan of John Ross. But yeah, he's been a bust so far. He's been a big bust. And I don't know, maybe a change of scenery is what he needs. Hour number 2, I got Kevin McGuire with NBC Sports. We got games starting here in a matter of minutes. I love this time of year. Ballgame show, here's the news.
Banner Bank is happy to bring you Super Talk Radio, KDKR Baker City, KLBM LeGrand. Stop by Banner Bank today. Member FDIC.
Emergency declaration expanded. Huge fentanyl bust. I'm Barbara Cusack. State of emergency declared in all of Florida's 67 counties as the state prepares for Hurricane Dorian to make landfall over the Labor Day weekend. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis explains why he's expanded his earlier declaration.
If you look at different possible tracks for this thing, it is possible that you could have impacts even in Northwest Florida. And not necessarily saying that's the most likely, but that's certainly possible. So we want to make sure that every county has the resources they need to be prepared.
In Daytona Beach, correspondent Nick Valencia says folks are getting ready in advance of Dorian's arrival.
People seem to be making a rush towards getting prepared. Long lines already at the gas station in some parts of Florida. Here last night in Daytona Beach area, they ran out of water in some stores. We're also seeing people filling up sandbags and doing everything they can to get prepared for what officials are bracing for to be a very significant storm.
And Georgia's governor has now declared a state of emergency for 12 counties nearest the state's coastline ahead of Dorian. A multi-state drug ring busted in Virginia. The U.S. attorney for the Eastern District in the state said much of the 66 pounds of the fentanyl came from Chinese labs, and there was enough of it to kill 14 million people. 39 people have been charged. Despite an ongoing trade battle between the U.S. and China, correspondent Steve Kastenbaum says it was an up day on Wall Street.
The Dow Jones Industrial Average ended the day up 1.25%, 326 points. The S&P 500 was also up 1.25%, and the Nasdaq rose 1.5%. Wall Street saw some positive news when Chinese officials said that they wanted to resolve the ongoing trade war with the U.S. with a calm attitude. China's Commerce Ministry said they were opposed to escalating tension.
The largest study of its kind found evidence that genes contribute to same-sex sexual behavior, but there are no specific genes that make people gay. I'm Barbara Cusack.
Trading involves financial risk and is not suitable for all investors. Past results do not guarantee future performance.
Most people in today's economy are taking a roller coaster ride with their investments. With Vantage Point software, you can remove that dynamic from your investment strategy once and for all. Vantage Point has spent the last 3 decades perfecting an artificial intelligence process that you can put to use today to take advantage of market fluctuations and make money no matter which way the market moves. Vantage Point software analyzes massive quantities of data all around the world in seconds, so you get the information information you need to make the right decisions to optimize your profits. For a limited time, Vantage Point is giving away a free market forecast that will show you which stocks are about to take off, and you'll be able to use this forecast immediately. Text NOW to 411-411. We'll send you a link to your free market forecast so you take back control of your financial future. Text NOW to 411-411. Text NOW to 411-411.
Message and data rates may apply. Go to VantagePointSoftware.com for terms, conditions, and...
It's time now for your local weather forecast. In the Grand tonight, partly cloudy with a stray shower or thunderstorm possible, low of 57 degrees. For tomorrow, generally sunny skies and a high near 87. In Baker City tonight, partly cloudy with chance of shower or thunderstorm too, low of 57. And by tomorrow, mainly sunny with a few clouds and a high near 88. This weather forecast is brought to you by LeGrand Gold and Silver, family owned and managed for over 35 years. Your trusted local experts for fine jewelry and precious metals. Shop LeGrand Gold and Silver's full line of quality jewelry, gifts, and coins, and find the perfect gift that will be cherished for a lifetime.
Garage door stop working? Better get it fixed. Knee-High Enterprises specializes in the installation of garage doors and garage door openers, both residential and commercial. Greg Pointer and his crew will get the job done right. They are currently serving Baker, Union, Wallowa, Grant, and Malheur counties. Located on 10th and Broadway in Baker City. 541-523-6008. Knee-High Enterprises. Big enough for the big jobs, small enough to care.
Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care. I ever get back, so let's root for the home team. They don't win, it's a shame. 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game.
The Johnny Ballgame Show.
Appreciate you. Hour number 2, Johnny Ballgame Show, Bench Warmers Pub and Grill. UCLA versus Cincinnati tonight. Clemson versus Georgia Tech tonight. The Holy War from Lavelle Edwards Stadium in Provo, Utah tonight. That's Utah at BYU. Week 1 officially kicking off. A whole bunch of games tonight, some games tomorrow, all throughout the weekend. The Labor Day weekend thing's pretty cool because you get games on Saturday, you get games on Sunday, and they usually have a game on Monday too. What's the Monday game this year? Is it Notre Dame, Louisville, or is that on Sunday? I don't know. I haven't examined the schedule as closely as maybe I need to. We'll break down these games later this hour with NBCSports.com's Kevin McGuire, good buddy of mine. Been coming on my show talking college football now for a decade. I'm loving the fact that we're going to do this another season. Goss Motors inbox, JohnnyBallGameShow@gmail.com. Trevor wants to know what I thought of the Orioles last night. They had an assistant coach, their bench coach, their infield coach, got into it with a couple of players. And this isn't the first time we've seen fights going on in the Oriole dugout. Let me just say this. They were talking about this earlier today on PTI, I saw. Are the Orioles an embarrassment to baseball? Unequivocally, 100%, yes, they are. The Orioles are an embarrassment to Major League Baseball. It is embarrassing that the American League and Major League Baseball has to have that team be a part and wear their patches and their symbols and have any relation to that league. The Orioles are 43 games out of first place. They're tanking. Most of the players on this roster, they don't even want on the team. Those aren't going to be the guys they're going to have when they get good. It's like a real-life situation of the movie Major League. And we're going to lose on purpose because that's the quickest way we can get to be good again or relocate or whatever the heck. And that's how it would have normally worked out for guys like Ricky Vaughn and Willie Hayes and Pedro Serrano, right? That's how it would have worked out. But Major League's a movie, and it's a great one. Well, the Orioles are a real-life version of that, and it's a crap show. It's a McGurkus. It's awful. And they're embarrassing themselves, and they're embarrassing baseball. I don't know what baseball can do. You can't fix a quality tank job. You just can't. But yeah, they're an embarrassment to baseball, the Orioles. And I get it. The players are frustrated. Here we are. There's a month left in the season. They just want this thing to end. And they'll have new players in or whatever. And they're 43 games out of first place. You shouldn't be in the league if you're 43 games out of first place, right? I mean, you're not going to take San Jose State in football and put them in the Pac-12. That's not good for anybody. They're going to get their teeth knocked out every week. That's why they have conferences, classifications, levels of play. That's the whole point of a conference, to kind of be with, with brethren, people who are close to you, people who operate under the same type of economic or whatever system. That's the whole point of a conference, a league. And the Baltimore Orioles now, I mean, they don't deserve to be in the major leagues. I'll tell you this, I'm not a soccer guy. I'm not. But I watch a lot of soccer documentaries. It's something I geek out on, whether it's the Amazon All or Nothing, where they followed Manchester City. I watch a lot of those soccer documentaries on Netflix and Amazon, and I like a lot of the things that soccer does. And I'm thinking, okay, like the relegation system of the English Premier League. They literally take like the bottom 3 teams every year, and they kick them out of the league. And they bring 3 new teams in who have won championships in lesser leagues. They do that in soccer, and it works. And it scares teams and fan bases and ownership groups to spend more money, to work a little harder at what you're doing and not just collecting your checks because, hey, here's our TV money. Here's our AL money. I mean, here's our revenue sharing. The Baltimore Orioles don't deserve any of that pot. They don't deserve any revenue sharing. But they're going to get it because they're under the American League, Major League Baseball umbrella. And they're embarrassing the league. Now, what if you did this? Baltimore Orioles, okay, you're going to the Atlantic League next year. Yeah, that's AAA. Yep. You're going to the Atlantic League. And the winner of the Atlantic League, you're going to play in the American League East. You win the AAA World Series, you're playing in the majors next year. Good for you. And you get Major League revenue dollars, Major League TV money to fix your ballpark, fix your clubhouse, whatever it is you're going to have to do to prepare for coming up to the bigs. That works in soccer. Now, it probably isn't going to work, logistically speaking, in this country, and that's fine. I'm shooting from the hip here. I'm farting in the wind and seeing if it smells. It does. But that's what they do in the English Premier League for soccer. The bottom teams, like, dude, no, you're out of here. We're going to take 3 new teams. And you're not going to tank if they're going to kick you out of the league. Could you imagine if baseball came up with some type of system like that? You're not going to tank for the worst pick. Heck, you're not going to get the worst pick because you're not going to get a pick. You're out of the league, dude. Farmers Insurance Hotline, 541-963-4122. Any thought on that? You think some type of sport should try to flirt with some type of relegation? Is there a way it could work? Do you have any ideas on that? You can shoot me a call here, 541-963-4122. I mean, I don't see how it would because obviously there's reasons and levels of nerddom that I don't want to get into. But I mean, the Detroit Tigers right now have 39 wins. In comparison, the Yankees have 88. The Yankees have more than twice the wins as the Tigers. And the Tigers are like an established baseball program. The Tigers have been around since, Ty Cobb. Tigers are one of the original baseball teams. And they have a home record this year. The Tigers do 17-48. What? The Tigers have won 17 home games? That's it? They've played 131 games total, and 17 of those games they've won at home? I mean, it's just embarrassing. The Tigers have a run differential of negative 259. Baseball's got a lot of problems, and a witch ain't one. But I'll tell you, a lot of the problems with baseball, you got 8, 9, 10 teams that are a joke. Like, I make fun of my Mariners. They don't even know how to tank. The Mariners don't know how to tank well. Like, the Mariners are, I guess, tanking. Well, yeah, you got the Tigers, the Orioles, the Blue Jays, the Royals, the Marlins. I mean, all those teams the Pirates, all those teams have worse records than the Mariners. So what they're tanking for the 11th pick? I mean, they don't even know how to tank. That's classic Mariners. Anyway, but yeah, a relegation system would be really interesting if they could find some way to put that through. Like, could you imagine in the NFL? You know, if a team has a season where they go, you know, they only win 1 or 2 games, they get relegated to the XFL. And the XFL champion, the Seattle Dragons, come up to the NFL. You'd have 2 Seattle teams. It'd be kind of cool. No, but I mean, they do that in soccer, and it works. And that's just kind of the difference in European sports with American sports, how it kind of works out. Because I'll tell you, in the English Premier League, you have a lot of different levels. And like here you have high school ball, college ball, and then the pros. They don't have that stuff over there. They have club teams, and you're in your own club league. And anyway, not that you care or anything, but that would be an interesting deal. Interesting situation. I'm with you, man. All emails brought to us by MJ Goss Motors, home of the warranty forever. That's no gimmick. That's warranties forever. If you visit gossmotors.com, that is a game changer at MJ Goss Motors, warranty forever. Johnny Ballgame Show at gmail.com. Appreciate all the emails coming in. I got some text messages I want to read. I'll do that next. I have Kevin McGuire, NBCSports.com, college football writer, going to preview a number of these exciting games coming this weekend. I cannot wait. Week 1 of the college football season. It's finally here. I love it.
Hi. My car is making a funny noise, like a yee 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 yee.
Like a yee.
Yeah, it's a yee yee yee.
Hey, Rick, what's a yee sound mean? Was that a yee?
That's it, like a yee.
Sounds like a worn-out belt. Sounds like a worn-out belt. We can help you with that.
Yes, thank you.
Quality parts, helpful people. That's Napa know-how.
Old West Federal Credit Union is sending a few lucky winners to the Pendleton Roundup this September. This is your chance to take part in all of the Rodeo Hall of Fame action. Contest entry is easy and anyone can enter. Simply stop by the Union, Baker, or LeGrand Old West Federal Credit Union branches and talk to a teller to enter. The drawing will take place at 5 p.m. September 5th, so don't wait. Stop by Old West Federal Credit Union in Baker, Union, or LeGrand today for your chance to win Pendleton Roundup tickets at Old West Federal Credit Union. Member NCUA.
That's the sound of a dying engine, metal on metal. And that's the sound of your savings dying with it. Keep your money and your ride alive with industry-leading AMSOIL. I'm a believer in AMSOIL lubricants, engineered friction-reducing synthetics. For fuel efficiency and extreme performance, regular oil just can't touch it. No matter what you drive, operate, or ride, where there's metal on metal, you want AMSOIL. For performance and protection, get AMSOIL today at Island City Market in Delhi.
This season, the Boise State Broncos are looking to continue dominating the Mountain West.
Throws it for the right side, and the ball is caught. Is it inbounds? Yes, touchdown. What a catch.
With 4 young QBs looking to lead the Broncos to the postseason and another bowl win.
Unbelievable.
Be there with the team all season long, right here on the Broncos Sports Network from Learfield IMG College.
Don't miss another season of the Lindy's Football Report on Super Talk Radio. Hi, everyone. I'm Graham Dunn, your host every Thursday evening at 5:30 and on Saturday mornings early at 4:30. Listen to me as well as my co-host Michael Butler discuss college football with insight from coaches, writers, and reporters, keeping you up to speed on all the big topics. So tune us in on KLBM in LeGrand and KBKR in beautiful Baker City. The Lindy's Football Report on Super Talk AM, the talk of Eastern Oregon.
Preparing for disasters and emergencies can seem like a big job. So here's some things you can do to take small steps to make a big difference.
Get involved. It takes more than police, fire, and EMTs to respond to a disaster. It takes people who are committed to neighborhoods, churches, schools, and volunteer organizations. You are the key to a disaster-resilient community. So get involved and be ready to withstand a disaster as community and get back to normal.
Go to chdinc.org/EP for the complete 12 steps to being prepared. CHD, working for healthy communities.
Baker City, this is Bill Shanley. The Rip City Rally is coming to you this year.
Join us for some free family fun as the Rip City Rally presented by Moda heads to your town to tip off our 50th anniversary season. Enjoy free basketball contests, giveaways, and games for all ages from 4 to 6 p.m. Swing by Main Street between Washington and Court Monday, September 9th, and help tip off the Trailblazers' 50th anniversary season. Visit trailblazers.com/Rip City Rally for details.
You know, one interesting nugget about Saturday's Oregon-Auburn game, and it's hard for me to imagine that it's 2 days from now. I mean, the game starts, 4:30 Pacific time? I mean, we're 48 hours away from this thing. And, been excited about this game since, it's not springtime, when you can kind of start to look ahead like, oh, that's going to be fun. Oregon versus Auburn. Here we are 48 hours away from, I'm just calling it, honestly, one of the 5 most important games in the history of the Pac-12. Not Pac-10, not Pac-8, in the Pac-12. One of the 5 most important games. And I'll tell you this, in the history of the Pac-12, which Pac-12's been going on for 6-7 years now? It's the most important non-conference game in the history of the Pac-12. It's just that important for the league with the current state of where the conference is. And, I mean, it's going to pit strength versus strength. I read an article on ESPN.com. Kirk Herbstreit was talking about it, and he's right on with it. The strength of the Ducks program right now, the strength of the Ducks team right now, is the offensive line. My boy Jake Hansen, the whole crew, all 5 guys are back who started all those games last year. And for Auburn, I think their entire defensive line is back. That's the strength of Auburn's team, is their D-line. I mean, they had, 2 dudes last year who could have went to the pros and would have been mid-round picks. They're back. So it's strength on strength. The Oregon offensive line versus the Auburn defensive line. And typically speaking, the SEC wins battles up front, doesn't it? Typically speaking, I mean, you don't want to get into a war in the trenches with an upper-level SEC program, which is what Auburn has proven to be. I mean, Oregon's an upper-level Pac-12 program. But like I said last year, you had Auburn, which wasn't necessarily upper-level SEC then. Auburn had, a so-so year last year. They still beat the Pac-12 champion Huskies in that non-con game. Huskies played in the Rose Bowl. Auburn beat them. My boy Lynn Scarborough from Lindy's Magazine, you'll hear him in about an hour on this station. He said, and I agree with him, Auburn will be the most talented team that the Ducks play this year in terms of legit NFL talent. I like Washington. I like Stanford. I like the talent that USC has. Auburn will have the most talent of any team Oregon plays. Couple of concerns I have, Duck fans. Mario Cristobal, the head coach. He's had a couple of opportunities to win games that they didn't win, and you can flat out put it on coaching and decision making. Now, some guys are great recruiters and they're okay strategists, okay football coaches on game day. And for the sake of the Duck fans, I hope Cristobal isn't one of those dudes. But he has a reputation for being one of those guys. He'll recruit. He's a heck of an assistant coach. But on game day, whether or not to go for it on fourth down, certain key decisions, he might not be your guy. That concerns me a little bit. We'll see, though. Cincinnati up 6-0 early on UCLA. Make that 7. UCLA drove all the way down inside the Cincinnati 10-yard line, and their quarterback, Dorian Thompson-Robinson, I think that's his name, right? He's a Bishop Gorman kid, fumbled the ball, and Cincinnati went right down and scored up 7. I mean, Chip Kelly. I'm not going to pick on Chip today. We did that yesterday. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting situation in that game. I'll tell you, there's so many games coming on this weekend. But my Idaho Vandals, who are now in the Big Sky, and I thought it was a good move for my Vandals. My Vandals were never going to contend in FBS. But hopefully they can win Big Sky titles and go to the cool playoff tournament that the FCS has. But my Idaho Vandals play at Penn State this weekend on Saturday at 12:30 on the Big Ten Network. My Vandals in Beaver Stadium against Penn State. Oh, that's going to get ugly. I think Idaho gets $1.4 million for the game. And a lot of people don't like that about college football, and I understand why you don't like it. You don't have to consume it, though. Nobody's forcing you to pay attention. There's a lot of other games you can watch. But it benefits both schools. It does not benefit the fans. They get screwed on this, and I'm not making any mistake about that. When a team like Idaho plays a team like Penn State, the fans get the raw deal. I mean, if you're a Penn State fan, you spent however many hundreds of dollars for your season ticket package, and they opened the season against Idaho from the Big Sky. And they beat them 70-3. Really? That's fun for you? Probably not. But for Penn State, not the fans, for the actual program, it's essentially a preseason warm-up. You know you're not going to lose. You're going to be able to play just about everybody on your roster because you're going to be up by so many points. You're going to get an extended look for a lot of players who maybe haven't seen a whole lot of field time yet. And you don't have to worry about losing. So it works for Penn State. For Penn State to pull out its checkbook and write to the University of Idaho a check for $1.4 million, basically what Penn State is doing is they are paying Idaho for a victory. The coaching staff, they are going to start 1-0. Like I said, it's basically a preseason. It's a tune-up game. But it does count on your overall record. If you're Idaho, first off, dude, you need the money. You're not getting any type of television revenue playing in the Big Sky. You're not selling out the Kibbe Dome. You don't have fat corporate sponsorship deals, apparel contracts, Nike or Adidas, whoever you're signed up. They're not giving you mega millions to wear their gear. It's tough to create revenue, and I know the Vandals. I went to school there. I got a diploma from that place. I worked for the athletic department. I know how tough it is for the Vandals to raise money outside of the small college town of Moscow. Not Moscow, Moscow. I know how hard it is. So when you're saying, hey, Penn State's on the phone, they're offering us $1.4 million to basically be lab test tube bunnies. Do we want to take their money and let them operate on us and send us into space and whatever the hell they're doing to test some new drug? Are we willing to take it? Because they'll pay us. They're going to pay us $1.4 million to knock our teeth out. Are we okay with getting our teeth knocked out for $1.4 million? I mean, we could schedule a cupcake. We could schedule an NAIA team. I mean, Eastern Oregon, they're playing a Big Sky team. Portland State, they're playing a Big Sky team. EOU is. The Vandals are in the same conference as Portland State. I mean, Idaho could have done what Portland State's doing. Portland State's playing EOU. You think Portland State's getting any money to play EOU? No. But they want to win on their record. That's what they want. Idaho doesn't care if it loses. Idaho's just saying, meh, it's $1.4 million to play Penn State. We're totally cool with that. All right. Heck yeah, let's do it. And it works for the teams. Idaho needs to keep the lights on in the Kibbe Dome. Idaho needs to afford, this is how they raise money. So it does work for them. But it obviously the fans of Idaho, like myself, I am one. I am a Vandal fan. You think I'm excited about losing to Penn State 68 to whatever they want? Not really. Not really too excited about that. Anyway, ball game show, Benchwarmers Pub and Grill, my boy Kevin McGuire next.
It's time now for your local weather forecast. In the Grand tonight, partly cloudy with a stray shower or thunderstorm possible, low of 57 degrees. For tomorrow, generally sunny skies and a high near 87. In Baker City tonight, partly cloudy with chance of shower or thunderstorm too, low of 57. And by tomorrow, mainly sunny with a few clouds and a high near 88. This weather forecast is brought to you by
Grand Ronde Hospital. Thank you for placing your health in our hands and giving us the opportunity to serve you.
Grand Ronde Hospital.
Discover a world of possibilities in one oven with the new KitchenAid Smart Oven Plus. It brings together a collection of oven-powered grill, baking stone, and steamer attachments with connected cooking to tap your full culinary potential. Fuel your creativity with attachments that allow you to grill indoors, steam a dinner for four, and save time when preheating a baking stone. Come into Appliances and More today to learn how the KitchenAid Smart Oven Plus with powered attachments is more than an oven. Select attachments shipped separately. Appliances and More, your choice appliance store.
You have many options when it comes to purchasing your next set of tires. At Rock & Sons, it's 100% local. The money you spend at Rock & Sons won't be transferred to an account at some corporate headquarters far away from our community in Eastern Oregon. Money spent at Rock & Sons will filter its way back into our community. That's how local business works. We all support each other. We don't send our money to some giant corporation. Think about it. Since 1965, Rock & Sons Tire and Auto, 100% local.
Baker City, this is Bill Schonley. The Rip City Rally is coming to you this year.
Join us for some free family fun as the Rip City Rally presented by Moda heads to your town to tip off our 50th anniversary season. Enjoy free basketball contests, giveaways, and games for all ages from 4 to 6 p.m. Swing by Main Street between Washington and Court Monday, September 9th, and help tip off the Trailblazers' 50th anniversary season. Visit trailblazers.com/Rip City Rally for details.
It's got that atmosphere and feeling to it.
This is Oregon football.
And it is intercepted. Foot race. It's over, baby.
Saturday, Oregon kicks off the 2019 season at Jerry World against the Auburn Tigers.
First down and a lot more. There you go. Nope, you're not going to get him.
Kickoff is at 4:30.
Unbelievable.
It's only on your home for Ducks football.
When you hear that roar, it's game time.
It's big game time. Boomer Radio, your home for the Oregon Ducks.
Don't miss another season of the Lindy's Football Report on Super Talk Radio. Hi, everyone. I'm Graham Dunn, your host every Thursday evening at 5:30 and on Saturday mornings early at 4:30. Listen to me as well as my co-host Michael Butler discuss college football with insight from coaches, writers, and reporters, keeping you up to speed on all the big topics. So tune us in on KLBM in LeGrand and KBKR in beautiful Baker City. The Lindy's Football Report on Super Talk AM, the talk of Eastern Oregon.
It's time now for a Community Calendar Update. Every Monday through Friday, the Community Connection Senior Dining Center in Baker City serves up lunch at 11:30 a.m. There is a suggested donation of $4.50 for persons 60 and over and a cost of $6.25 for persons under 60. Stop by Community Connection of Baker County, located at 2810 Cedar Street in Baker City, to take a look at the menu and see what else is offered. The American Legion Post 43 in LeGrand holds bingo Thursday evenings with early bird games starting at 6 p.m. and a second session beginning at 7. The public is welcome to come down to 301 First Street in LeGrand each week to participate. Refreshments will also be served, cash only, please. Every Friday morning from 9 a.m. until noon is the Free Children's Clinic in LeGrand. Appointments are requested. For more information, please call 541-663-3150. This community calendar update is brought to you by Claudson Sew and Soak, Viking and Pfaff machines for beginner to expert, plus financing for any budget. Tired of that old machine? Upgrading is easy. Get started today and sew something good at Claudson's in LeGrand.
Oregon State football returns to Reser Stadium this fall for head coach Jonathan Smith's second season back with the Beavers. Bring the whole family this year with a family 4-pack. Just $155 a seat when you purchase 4 or more season tickets. The season starts August 30th. Don't miss the action. To secure your seats, call a representative at 541-737-2050 or visit beavertickets.com today.
All right, welcome back. Johnny Ballgame Show, Bench Warmers Pub and Grill. Last weekend may have been an indication of where the Pac-12 is going to be in the non-con this season, with Kevin Sumlin taking a dump on the island against the Hawaii Rainbow Warriors. UCLA and Chip Kelly off to a sluggish start in Cincinnati as well. We'll keep you updated on that, but heck yeah, we actually got live games going on right now. Clemson kicks off to defend its national title in less than a half an hour. We got the Holy War tonight. Utah at BYU from Lavelle Edwards Stadium. How about this? Beaver fan, it's here tomorrow night. OSU with Mike Gundy and the Oklahoma State Cowboys at Reser. Sold out Beaver crowd. That's going to be mega. I cannot wait. Let's head on over to our Farmers Insurance Hotline. This dude's been coming on my show for about 10 years now. He's with NBC Sports. He hosts the No 2-Minute Warning podcast. He's Kevin McGuire, and he's hanging out with us. Kevin, always appreciate your time. Ready to get this going. Another Thursday segment on the Johnny Ballgame Show, talking college football. Welcome to the show for another season, my friend.
Yeah, you know what? I always love coming on and talking some college football with you because I'm sitting here in my chair watching college football. It is a great feeling just to know that this time of the year is back, and I look forward to spending every Thursday with you.
Can't wait, Kevin. Let's start with from Jacksonville now to Tallahassee. We have a big Boise State fan base here, and this happens now every year with hurricane season, and we see multiple games that seem get postponed year in, year out. Do you think maybe there's any inclination? I know it's going to be tough to ask these teams not to play home games week one, but do you think some programs might explore maybe playing away from the state of Florida, at least for week one on this? We see this stuff every year. We're lucky that they can play this game in Tallahassee. These teams are lucky that this thing is even going to happen. I thought for a second there, Kevin, that this thing would be postponed, and that would just been a mega bummer because this is a fun matchup.
Yeah, it really is. I don't think we're going to see any schools seriously take any steps forward towards scheduling with concern about hurricanes. Not to say that hurricanes are not a concern. Obviously they are. But I think that's just something you have to deal with when it comes up because there's no guarantee that they're going to come. There's no guarantee where they're going to go. You can't schedule that way, I don't think.
Okay.
If you're a program like Florida or Florida State, Miami, or even if you're a road team looking to play a game in one of those venues, I just don't think that that's going to be a possibility. I think we just have to roll the punches as we get them and see what we do from there.
Kevin, is it a mistake for ESPN to debut the ACC network tonight with Georgia Tech at Clemson, simply due to the fact that they just contractually, that network hasn't inked deals with all the major television providers you want to ink deals with? It's like DirecTV customers are the only ones that get to see this game. Dish Network, digital cable. I mean, a lot of homes, there is no ACC network, and this is the number one team, number one program in the country. Everybody wants to watch Trevor Lawrence. Everybody wants to see Dabo on the sideline. And I guess you're going to have to go to the bar to see it in many cases. Mistake by ESPN putting this thing on ACC network, in your opinion, Kevin?
Yes and no. I'm one of those people that doesn't have the ACC network. I just checked today to see if I had it, and to my surprise, I didn't have it. So I'm a little disappointed, too. I get it. For the casual viewer and somebody who's just, has an opportunity to watch one of the best players, one of the best teams go up against a team in their conference who could very well be on the rise, it stinks not being able to watch that game tonight. But business always comes first, and there's a reason why they put this game on the ACC network. It's so that they could have a star matchup and a star attraction on this Thursday night and have everybody who's not getting that network call their cable companies, call their satellite providers, demanding that they get the network. This has happened with the Big Ten network. It has happened with, obviously it's happening with the Pac-12 network.
Oh, yeah.
This is just how it goes. The SEC network was a rare exception where pretty much everybody that was going to get it got it right away. If I'm mistaken somewhere in there, please let me know. But that was the exception to the rule, not the norm. So now we're seeing the same thing with the ACC. So everyone that's going to get the ACC network is going to get it at some point. It just stinks that you don't have it tonight.
Kevin, am I wrong on Kevin Sumlin? I loved that hire in Tucson. I was one of the ones saying, hey, I thought A&M was a little too harsh on him. And then he goes to the island with, a pseudo Heisman Trophy candidate at quarterback. We can end the Khalil Tate stuff. Even though he had a good game statistically, you got to go represent that patch on your jersey that says Pac-12, and you can't lose to a lower-level Mountain West football-only program on the island. I thought that was a very embarrassing loss, not just for Arizona and Kevin Sumlin, but obviously for the Pac-12 conference. Just your thoughts on this. Was I wrong on him?
I don't think so. I still think there's time to change that narrative, because I'm with you. I thought it was a good hire. I thought it was a good situation for Kevin Sumlin to get away from the Texas A&M thing that just it kind of got stale there. They needed to make a change. He probably needed a change of scenery, and I thought Arizona was a good pairing, and I still think it will be. Obviously, it didn't get off to a great start, but it's not like they got blown out by Hawaii. I know it's obviously not the outcome you want if you're a team from the Pac-12 coming back from any road environment that has a Mountain West team. It's not great for the conference, but ultimately you have to worry. Kevin Sumlin has to worry about Arizona first, Pac-12 second, and I still think that there were some positives that you can take from that game. Certainly if Khalil Tate's going to be healthy, I think he's going to have a pretty fun season. So there's still a lot to look forward to, especially once conference play gets going. Those are the games that will really matter the most. But obviously getting the year started with a lump like that isn't the greatest way to start a new year with a sense of optimism, but I still think that there will be glimmers of hope there for Arizona moving forward.
Let's get to my favorite portion of this segment, and we got a lot dedicated to this today. Kevin McGuire, college football, NBC Sports College Football Talk, does a terrific job on this show on our Farmers Insurance Hotline. Kevin, let's start previewing some of these games, and I know this one's going on right now, and a lot of people in my neck of the woods still pay close attention to UCLA simply because the coach wearing that visor on the sideline, Chip Kelly, down early in Cincinnati. This is obviously a big game for the American Conference. Anytime you can beat a Pac-12 team, you'd like to. This game going on again right now, just your thoughts on this. Is this a pretty big game for UCLA? I mean, it was a disaster last year, Chip Kelly year one. You'd certainly love to get off on the right foot and get 1-0. Just your thoughts on UCLA Cincinnati going on right now.
Yeah, it would be nice for UCLA to get a win tonight because the first few games on the schedule, really the whole month of September, it's not going to be easy. I think there's a possibility you could be talking about a winless UCLA team going into October, which I don't think will happen, but I can see that as a possibility because of the games that they're going to have to play. And I think certainly I thought things were getting off to a good start tonight because the defense came out and got it right off the field. The offense was right down the field, and then they fumble it. The quarterback just drops the ball, and then Cincinnati cashes in, and UCLA I think just missed a field goal too. So there's still some work to be done for Chip Kelly at UCLA, and it better come along pretty quickly because I think the tension's going to ramp it up pretty quickly if it doesn't.
UCF has not lost a regular season game since 2016. They're kind of the group of five program right now. It's not Boise State currently. Brandon Wimbush, the Notre Dame transfer, I don't know if he's Mackenzie Milton or not, probably not, but he doesn't have to worry about the Notre Dame quarterbacking pressure cooker hot seat anymore, and he can kind of step away from this and just play ball. You know this, Kevin. There's a lot that comes with being the starting quarterback at Notre Dame, and if you don't win, they just shred you, not locally, not regionally, but nationally, and he's not worrying about that anymore. UCF plays, they just started on CBS Sports Network. Is UCF again now for you? Are they still the top dog when it comes to the group of five?
They may be, but they're not alone this year. I don't think it's as wide of a gap as maybe it was last year or even the year before. I think Cincinnati is one of those teams. I think Boise State could very well be one of those teams too. But this is still a really good UCF team. I just think that their run of unbeaten games in the regular season is probably going to come to an end this year. The odds say that it's going to happen at some point, and there's some good teams that they're going to have to play. But as far as Brandon Wimbush is concerned, I agree he's not Mackenzie Milton, but he doesn't have to be. And I think he's in a good spot where the offense is going to be at pretty much a good advantage just about every game of the season. Maybe not every game, but they're gonna be just fine. It probably won't put up as many points as they did with Milton, but I think it's a good spot for Brandon Wimbush to be in because he's talented. Let's not completely overlook that. But just a change of scenery could do him well.
Georgia Tech might throw the ball more tonight at Clemson than it threw the ball entirely last season in the end of the Paul Johnston era, which was successful. Paul Johnston went to BCS bowl games there. He has certainly nothing to apologize for, but I think it was just time that Georgia Tech comes into something different. They're obviously at the Rock tonight to take on Clemson. ACC Network, we talked about this. Is this game, in your opinion, that gets ugly? Or Georgia Tech, hey, they're a Power 5 program. They're in the ACC. Kevin, can they hang with Clemson tonight?
I think they can if their defense can avoid being embarrassed. Because this is a really good Clemson team. Of course, you got Trevor Lawrence going up against you. It's not going to be easy because he's so great. Clemson's going to be in a real good spot, especially playing at home. But I think one thing we'll see about Georgia Tech this year, yes, they will throw the ball more than they have the last couple of seasons or how many years now. It's going to be a drastically different defense or offense. But the defense is where we're going to see the most significant improvement, I think, right away, or at least a little quicker than the offense, because things will come once they start recruiting a little bit better and developing the players that they're bringing in. But Georgia Tech's going to be in good hands. They're going to be fun to watch. It's a shame we lose a triple option team from our rotation, but we still have Army and Navy and Air Force to keep us busy there.
Yeah, we still got our service academies, Kevy boy.
Yep.
Kevin McGuire, NBCSports.com, Johnny Ballgame Show, Benchwarmers Pub and Grill. Certainly not the magnitude of Oregon, Auburn, but it's bigger than Arizona losing on the island. It's bigger than if UCLA loses in Cincinnati. I'm talking about the Holy War. Utah 14th in the nation, BYU not ranked. This game is a throw the records and rankings out of type of thing, as you know. This is big for the Pac-12, though. Utah needs to win this game and represent the Pac-12 tonight, and that's not all. It's a lot easier said than done. LaVell Edwards Stadium, BYU wins a lot of games at home, as they have throughout the years. Interesting Holy War on a Thursday, huh, Kevin?
Yeah, I might have to stay up and late and watch this one, too.
Yeah.
Because it should be pretty fun. I always like watching these rivalry games, and the Holy War ranks right up there, for sure. But yeah, I'm very curious to see what happens here because I think BYU is going to show some improvement again this season. And if Utah's going to be the playoff contender that a lot of people seem to be thinking that they are, they need to make a statement tonight and come out and say that it's for real. I'm one of those people. I don't have a vote in the playoff or anything like that, but I'm not convinced that they are. And you've seen in the preseason rankings, they're the third highest ranked Pac-12 team. Granted, 2 are in the other division, so maybe it's all just how it all plays out for Utah in their favor. But I think Utah is a well-rounded team, probably the most consistent team, certainly in the Pac-12 South. There's no question there. But I want to see if they can make a statement tonight because it's not going to be easy in Provo.
Kevin McGuire again hanging out with us every Thursday on this show. Okay, Kevin, let's go to some Friday night games. The Rocky Mountain Showdown, Colorado State versus Colorado from Bronco Stadium there in Denver. This is a game that Colorado has won in recent memory, certainly needs to as well. Colorado State, Mike Bobo, somewhat on thin ice there in Fort Collins. Any chance Colorado State can be another Mountain West team to beat another Pac-12 team?
I don't think so in this one because I do think that Colorado has enough advantages on their roster just as from being a part of the Pac-12 the way that they've been building the program. Obviously, it's a new era for Colorado, and opening it up with a statement against your in-state rival would certainly be a good way to get started. But I do think that Colorado is that far ahead of Colorado State on paper right now. It'll be different once Colorado gets into Pac-12 play, but I think Colorado is actually a pretty interesting team heading in a pretty fun direction.
Utah State at Wake Forest. Last year, Utah State should have beaten Michigan State in the opener in East Lansing. They have Bryce Love, a Heisman candidate. At least they're pushing at quarterback there in Logan. Mike Sanford now runs the offense, former Notre Dame OC, former Boise State OC, former head coach at Western Kentucky, an up-and-comer coach. I thought he got a raw deal with the Hilltoppers. This is a good get for Utah State and that new staff. Gary Anderson comes back as Matt Wells and his staff left for Lubbock. I think this has upset written all over it. Utah State at Wake Forest. I think another strong chance for the Mountain West to beat a Power 5 team this weekend. The spread's only like 2.5 or 3, Kevin. Utah State at Wake Forest. Do the Aggies have a chance here, in your opinion? Can they get this?
Yeah, I think they do absolutely have a chance. I just worry because I think Wake Forest is going to be able to play a little bit more offense than Utah State's going to be ready for this weekend. But I do think that this Utah State team I think is going to be a real good spot. I'm on the Jordan Love bandwagon. I think he's going to be pretty fun to watch, and I think he's going to have a chance to make some plays here. Got to watch the turnovers because Wake Forest I think is going to be a team that can make you pay for them. So if you can't do that on the road against this Wake Forest team, I still think Utah State's going to be a pretty fun team to watch. But this is it's going to be a matchup that I think goes into the fourth quarter. And he's got a good quarterback. You got to like the chances.
Kevin, the over-under for Oklahoma State at Oregon State tomorrow, last time I looked, was 74. I mean, it's just insane, dude. Yeah. Both these teams are all over offensively. Oregon State arguably has the best running back and the best wide receiver returning in the Pac-12. They have a 6-year senior at quarterback, Jonathan Smith's offense, and a bunch of transfers there, too. And you know what Mike Gundy can do out of Stillwater. I mean, that team moves the football. Oklahoma State's a huge favorite on the road. Reeser's going to be sold out. They're probably tailgating already for this one in Corvallis. Hopefully that crowd can help keep it a little closer. But just your thoughts. Huge game in the state of Oregon tomorrow night. This is rare that Oklahoma State gets a Big 12 upper echelon team to come to Reeser Stadium, Kevin. Talk to me. It's going to be a hell of an environment. I can guarantee that. I just don't know if the game is going to match the environment, right?
You know what? I think it will be a good environment and a good game for a while, but at some point I feel like Oklahoma State's going to just get in a groove, and Oregon State's not going to have enough answers. So I feel like, maybe if it doesn't happen before halftime, maybe in that third quarter, that's where you're going to start to see the Oklahoma State just kind of pull away because they are a really good team. I know they didn't have the kind of season they were hoping for last season as Texas and Oklahoma played for the Big 12 title, but this is a really good program in the Big 12 if you look at it over the last few years. So I would take last year as a little bit of a blip on their radar, and I think they're going to bounce back a little bit and make some noise in the Big 12 this year. So it's a good road game for them, though, because I do think that there are some things to like about Oregon State. Again, I just don't know if they have enough to pull it out. But you know what? Like I said before, I want to see that turnover chainsaw. I want to see that come out a couple times.
Isn't that the best? The turnover chainsaw is like the coolest thing that's in the country. It is, dude. Not the turnover chain, the turnover chainsaw in Corvallis. I love it, man. I want to see that too. Kevin McGuire, NBC Sports. All right, a couple of Saturday games here. Another opportunity for the Pac-12 to get a big win, but at the same time, another opportunity for the Pac-12 to embarrass itself. Northwestern on the farm at a ranked Stanford. I think Stanford with T.C. Ostrander's got the best quarterback that really doesn't get any love. He had a really good year last year, Ostrander did. But Northwestern, hey, they were playing in the Big Ten championship last year, Kevin McGuire. This is going to be a tough game for Stanford, right?
Yeah, it is. But I think if you're looking for an underplay this week, this might be it, because I think these teams are going to be led by their defenses. It's going to be a scrappy game. And, Big Ten teams going out west, certainly during the regular season, they don't have a great history. And I don't think that Northwestern is the team that's going to reverse that trend in their favor. So I do think this is going to be a low-scoring affair, and I think if that's the case, that probably bodes well for Stanford. But Northwestern's got some talent, so we've got to keep an eye on it. They do have some guys that are going to be someplace. Bowser, the running back, is going to be pretty fun to watch. Obviously, so this is not a Northwestern team to take lightly, but I do think that Stanford defends the Pac-12's honor. We'll see how often we say that this weekend, though.
Yeah, absolutely. Some big opportunities for the Pac-12 this weekend. I guess I'll quit beating around the bush. Let's do it. Let's go Oregon versus Auburn, Jerry's World. I think this is bigger for the Pac-12 than it is for Oregon. I mean, Washington lost this game last year, Kevin. They still went on to win the Pac-12, went on to go to the Rose Bowl. I don't think it's a season definer, but my gosh, you got to go years back for the Pac-12 to get a huge, mega non-con win. This could be that. Auburn favored by 3.5. Your thoughts, Oregon versus Auburn on Saturday?
I like Oregon. I really do. Because I think Justin Herbert, if he's going to be the quarterback that everybody thinks he is, certainly the reason he came back this season. I think we're going to find out just how good Oregon could potentially be this year. Auburn's a good team. They're not the best team in the SEC. They're certainly not the best team in their division with Alabama and LSU ahead of them. But it's an Auburn team that can be up and down. And if you can get them on the right day, which I think Oregon probably will, I think it's going to play to your favor. So I think Auburn is going to have to play pretty clean offense because I don't know if they can be consistent enough to really give Oregon a strong threat here. So I like Oregon outright, and I think I like Oregon starting to pull away in this game as we get into that fourth quarter, because I do think they're going to be that much better than Auburn this year.
Boise State now at Doak Campbell in Tallahassee at Florida State. This got moved up. Boise State on their body clock. This thing's going to start 10 a.m. Mountain Time. Not an ideal start for BSU, and obviously, it's in Doak as opposed to where the Jaguars play up in Jacksonville. This is interesting though. Boise State, Florida State. Willie Taggart. I mean, my gosh, do the Florida State Seminole Nation want them to win this thing and get off to a good start? Kevin, this is going to be a fun one. Boise State, Florida State.
Yeah, I think so. It is a shame that it has to be moved to Florida State's home field. I don't know if it really makes that much of a difference, though, because I'm not so sure how much of the split that was going to be in Jacksonville anyway. But I do think that this is a statement game opportunity for Florida State. It's so weird to say that, and against a good Boise State program, but Florida State needs this game. They cannot afford to lose this game and start the season off on the wrong foot once again. Under Willie Taggart, who, like you said, is already under a lot of pressure after his debut in Tallahassee last year. People are expecting things to change quickly, and this is the kind of game where they cannot afford to lose and start stumbling out of the blocks right away.
Hey, Dana Holgorsen left West Virginia, took the Houston gig. Historically, you can win at Houston. Historically, when you win at Houston, you go somewhere bigger or better. Houston at Oklahoma. This is from Memorial Stadium in Norman, no neutral site. This is the Sunday game. Jalen Hurts, everyone's going to want to see what he does with Lincoln Riley's system. Could this be closer maybe than people think? Houston at Oklahoma.
I do think that this game is going to be a little closer than people are thinking because I don't know how much Oklahoma has fixed their defense. And if they haven't fixed their defense, the Houston offense is healthy. Houston offense is not one that you're going to slow down too often. So I think Oklahoma's going to be fine. They'll win the game. But unless this defense is dramatically improved, I think Houston puts some points on them. Maybe Oklahoma gets off to the fast start and builds a 14-0 lead, maybe a 20-0 lead or whatever. But I think Houston's not going to go away unless that Oklahoma defense has shored things up since last year.
Another opportunity, let me go back a little bit, for the Pac-12 to embarrass itself. Jeff Tedford has Fresno rolling. They finished the season last year in the top 25 poll. Another 10-win season for Tedford at Fresno. USC was historically bad last year. I don't even know if the Coliseum is going to sell out for this thing. It probably won't. Fresno at USC, the late game on ESPN. Hopefully you're staying awake on the East Coast for this one, Kevy boy. But, I mean, gosh, USC, you better not lose to Fresno here, right?
Oh, absolutely, because like we just talked about with Florida State, USC cannot afford to start the season off on the wrong foot. Certainly Clay Helton, the leash could get very tight if they end up losing this game to Fresno State of all programs. Not to disrespect Fresno State, but we're talking about USC right
USC,
now.
Yeah.
And they absolutely need a bounce-back season after missing out on a bowl game last year. They've just been trending in the wrong direction the last couple of years under Clay Helton, from winning the Rose Bowl, getting a Pac-12 championship along the way, and then just a dud last season. So we'll see. Yeah, I think maybe a fresh new season, clean slate for everybody. Maybe USC gets it all together and comes up with some good offensive drives to put the pressure on Fresno State, and maybe they can force them to make a few mistakes.
Kevin, every Thursday, looking forward to this segment. A heck of a job, your midseason form already. I'll let you get back to the whole slate of games that you probably have now in your living room. But thanks for the time today for us on the Pacific Time Zone. Appreciate you, my man.
It's always my pleasure. Look forward to doing it again next week.
Heck yeah. Kevin McGuire, NBCSports.com's College Football Talk, host of the No 2-Minute Warning podcast, every Thursday on this show, talking about a whole slate of games. Now, there's going to be upsets, right? Not just point spread upsets, but, can Louisiana Tech hang with Texas? Can Miami of Ohio hang with Iowa? Stuff like that. I mean, can Tennessee, a team that's been in trouble the last, decade? I mean, should Tennessee be worried about Georgia State? I mean, they're going to happen. There's going to be some upsets. Where are they coming from? Love it. All text messages brought to you by Northwest Furniture and Mattress, Big Red Rocking Chair on the roof. Here's the news after this break.
Tune in to the Under the Hood Show, America's favorite car talk show, every Sunday morning from 9 to 11 on KLBM 1450 and KBKR 1490. The Under the Hood Show is sponsored by Shaw's Auto Body in LeGrand. Get your vehicle back to its original condition at Shaw's Auto Body in LeGrand. The Under the Hood Show every Sunday morning from 9 to 11 on Super Talk Radio, the talk of Eastern Oregon. KLBM 1450 and KBKR 1490.
From the Banner Bank Studio, the talk of Eastern Oregon, Super Talk Radio, KLBM LeGrand, KBKR Baker City.
Dorian's erratic path, pot warning. I'm Barbara Cusack. Hurricane Dorian is threatening the Atlantic coast of Florida, where correspondent Jan Johnson reports authorities canceled some commercial flights today and planned precautions at rocket launch sites along the Space Coast.
Airlines have already canceled dozens of flights. A number of airlines have waived change fees for passengers who hold tickets going into and out of Florida airports that could feel Dorian's impact. Cruise lines are also making adjustments, monitoring or adjusting to get around the storm.
Meteorologist Tom Sater says the erratic Dorian's path to landfall is up in the air.
I know there's so many people just want to know what's going to happen in my community right now. We can't really tell you. American Model, south of Forest Pierce, there's about West Palm, and then you come over the European and you're still down in Nassau, Bahamas. So it could go to the Keys and into the Gulf. This could slide up to the north and still get to Georgia or the Carolinas.
The Trump administration issued a national warning urging adolescents and pregnant women not to use marijuana. U.S. Surgeon General Jerome Adams explains the potency of pot has changed.
This ain't your mother's marijuana. So why does this matter? Well, the science tells us the higher the THC delivery, the higher the risk. We've seen an increase in emergency department visits for psychosis, overdose, and accidental ingestions. And nearly 1 in 5 people who begin marijuana use during adolescence become addicted.
President Trump touted the creation of Space Command during a White House ceremony, calling it an important part in the defense of the U.S.
Our freedom to operate in space is also essential to detecting and destroying any missile launched against the United States.
Brazil banned most legal fires for land clearing for 60 days in an attempt to stop the burning that has devastated parts of the Amazon region. Stocks turned higher with the Dow gaining 326 points, the S&P shot up 37, and the Nasdaq added 117 points. I'm Barbara Cusack.
Attention, you may be eligible for cash payments, identity theft protection services, and other benefits in the Equifax data breach proposed class action settlement. If you're one of about 147 million U.S. consumers whose information was impacted in the 2017 Equifax data breach, you may be eligible for cash payments for time and money you spent because of the data breach. Visit EquifaxBreachSettlement.com for more information about your rights under the settlement and to make a claim. Or you can call toll-free 1-833-759-2982. That's EquifaxBreachSettlement.com. Or call 1-833-759-2982. This is a court-approved legal notice paid for by the Equifax Data Breach Class Action Settlement Fund.
Have you heard what President Trump said recently?
Newsmax, you like Newsmax. I like it too.
Now you can watch Newsmax TV and get the truth about Trump from Bill O'Reilly, Mike Reagan, Alan Dershowitz, Pat Buchanan, and more. Newsmax TV is America's fastest growing cable news channel, now in 70 million homes. Find Newsmax on DirecTV, Dish, Xfinity, Spectrum, Optimum, Fios, Uverse, and more systems. See Newsmax TV today. It's real news for real people.
It's time now for your local weather forecast. In the Grand tonight, partly cloudy with a stray shower or thunderstorm possible, low of 57 degrees. For tomorrow, generally sunny skies and a high near 87. In Baker City tonight, partly cloudy with chance of shower or thunderstorm too, low of 57. And by tomorrow, mainly sunny with a few clouds and a high near 88. This weather forecast is brought to you by
Grand Ronde Hospital. Since 1907, our #1 mission has been to serve the community we all love. Thank you for placing your trust in us.
Grand Ronde Hospital.
The Grand Ronde Amateur Golf Tournament is September 6th through 8th at the LeGrand Country Club. Register now to play against the best of the best. You could sink a hole-in-one to win a huge prize or show off your putting skills to win $5,000. Our dinner and auction Saturday night features exclusive items such as a weekend at Minham Lodge and a collectible pinball machine. Non-golfers are welcome to come to our dinner and auction as well. All funds go towards patient care equipment and help save lives. Go to grh.org/golf to register, and I'll see you on the fairway.
Tune in with John Cruz on Northwestern Outdoors and America Outdoors Radio Sunday mornings. Get the scoop on wildlife watching, conservation, camping, hiking, horseback riding, bicycling, and more. He's also not afraid to cover tough topics and ruffle a few feathers. Join John and the experts Sundays, 7 a.m. on Super Talk Radio for Northwestern Outdoors and America Outdoors Radio Show. Sponsored by Island Express Lube and Car Wash. Spend less time under the hood and more time in the outdoors with Island Express Lube and Car Wash.
Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care. I ever get back, so let's root for the home team. They don't win, it's a shame. 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game.
The Johnny Ballgame.
Appreciate the love. Hour number 3 underway. We're going to turn the mic off at 5:30 tonight and get you to the Lindy's football report. All throughout football season, we end our program at 5:30 on Thursdays, and we air the Lindy's football report. So this will be the second episode of the season on that. Looking forward to listening to that on my way home tonight. And I'm excited. I got the Holy War tonight. I got Clemson, Georgia Tech tonight. I got UCLA, Cincinnati going on right now, and that's 10-7 right now, Cincinnati. I'll tell you this, though, I'm nervous for my Pac-12. I am. I can't talk about this enough, and I'm afraid that I'm going to come on the air on Monday, and I'm going to be crying in my cereal because the Pac-12 laid another stinking egg when it comes to non-conference college football. And it's not like, oh, yeah, the Pac-12 just can't beat the Power 5 conferences. No, it's not even just that. The Pac-12 historically has struggled in non-con games against Mountain West teams, dude. No excuse. I'm sorry. But the Pac-12 should not lose to the Mountain West. Certainly not at the frequency it has. It's embarrassing. And Larry Scott, if the Pac-12 dumps all over itself again this year, pukes all over itself again this year, fire the commissioner. Because under Larry Scott's direction, we have seen Pac-12 football take a mega setback. USC isn't even good right now. I'm blaming the commissioner on that. Well, I'm starting it off at the top. It's not just USC. Last year, at the end of the season, the Mountain West had more ranked teams than the Pac-12. Just can't happen. Just won't happen. Should not happen. Under Larry Scott, Pac-12 commissioner's direction, the Pac-12 basketball has went from a 5-bid tournament league to 2 or 3 bid leagues. Most of the time they're playing in the stupid first 4 play-in game. Pac-12 basketball, the direction it's under, a joke. And if this thing keeps coming, bring in a new commissioner. But this weekend's big. 11 Pac-12 teams are playing this weekend. Only Arizona isn't. And yeah, thanks, Arizona, for laying an egg on the island last weekend. Well done. Yeah, Khalil Tate for the Heisman. Hagalaga. Get out of here with that. Beat Hawaii. UCLA's losing right now. Kent State is at Arizona State tonight on Pac-12 Network. Please, Herman Edwards, please don't lose to a MAC team, and I'm sure you won't, but just please don't. The Holy War, look, it's not a coin flip. I get it. Utah is favored, and it should be, but it's not like teams go into Lavelle Edwards Stadium and throw the Cougars around all the time. BYU's good at home. They've always been good at home, and this is the Holy War. Look, BYU's an independent, okay? They don't play for conference championships. I think they should go back to the Mountain West, not here nor there, whatever. BYU doesn't want to share its money. They don't want to share their TV revenue. I get it. Don't. Keep all your money, go independent, and that's what they've done. Good for you. But what I'm trying to get at is this is like the biggest game of the year for BYU. Tonight, at home against arch rival, Holy War, Utah. It's a huge game for BYU. Utah's got to think about the Pac-12 schedule and stuff like that. Heck yeah. Don't lose the Holy War, Utah. Tomorrow night, Pac-12, front and center. Just what Larry Scott wants. He loves his Pac-12 teams playing on Friday night. Stinking turd nug. Colorado State versus Colorado, the Rocky Mountain Showdown from Broncos Stadium in Denver where the Broncos play. Colorado State, Colorado. Colorado's got a new coach, new system. I think Colorado State has a chance to win that. Another Mountain West team beating possibly a Pac-12 team. And then you pretty much know what's going to happen tomorrow night in Reeser. And I'm not faulting anybody on this. I'm appreciative. I'm thanking Oregon State for wanting and getting this game in Corvallis. No one's going to care if Oklahoma State runs all over Oregon State. That's what's supposed to happen. But if this thing's close, and if just say, hey, one of those, hey, quirky things happen. Hey, strange things are afoot at the Circle K. Well, on odd nights, we've seen it in the past, strange things are afoot at Reeser Stadium. But another opportunity tomorrow night for the Pac-12 to win or continue to embarrass itself. I think Northwestern has a chance at Stanford on the farm. I think Auburn, of course, has a chance against Oregon. I think Fresno has a chance against USC. All I'm saying is this thing could turn mega ugly for the Pac-12. And it already started off with Arizona losing last weekend on the island. If UCLA loses, I think I hope they won't. They probably will. Chip Kelly has given me no reason to have any faith whatsoever in UCLA Bruin football right now. That's been a joke. So we'll see what happens, but it's a big weekend. It's a pivotal weekend. Oregon needs to beat Auburn, guys. USC needs to hold off Fresno. Stanford needs to beat Northwestern. Utah needs to win the Holy War tonight. I mean, the upper echelon Pac-12 teams, can you guys at least win? I mean, please tell me, and Mike Leach teams stumble out of the gate. They always do. They are slow starters. And they got a new quarterback this year, too. It's not the guy everybody thought it would be. I mean, they're in Pullman, Martin Stadium. They play independent New Mexico State. They should be able to, honestly, to slash their tires in the first quarter. There's no way New Mexico State should be able to keep up with Air Raid. But again, I've seen Mike Leach lose to Big Sky teams. Remember, what was it, 3 years ago the Cougars lost to Portland State in Martin week 1? Oh, Cougars. I remember Cooper Kupp just destroyed them a couple of years ago, too. They lost to Eastern. Wazoo loses to Big Sky teams. New Mexico State is at least FBS. Barely. Please, Cougars, you're ranked. Don't puke that away. You know, my Huskies should be okay. Chris Peterson ain't losing to a Big Sky team. I'm not worried about the Dogs, Husky Stadium. But I am worried about the Pac-12. And I don't know anybody who follows the Pac-12 like I do who isn't worried about this. If you have any conference pride on that and you love your Pac-12 and you want to get it back, hey, these are the games you got to win. Utah has to win. UCLA needs to win. Colorado needs to win, right? Stanford needs to win. Oregon needs to win. USC. I mean, those teams need to win, dude. And they should. But if we get to a situation where Auburn beats Oregon, where Northwestern beats Stanford, where Colorado State beats Colorado, where BYU beats Utah, Cincinnati beats UCLA. Don't be crying when they don't even consider you for a playoff spot. Don't cry to me, because these are the games you gotta win. Especially, first off, a game like Northwestern Stanford, right? I mean, Northwestern's what? Mid-level Big Ten? A little upper middle-level Big Ten? They're middle-class Big Ten. Certainly very respectable. Stanford is upper-class Pac-12. Stanford's an upper-class Pac-12 program. Jim Harbaugh passes it off to David Shaw. Stanford's been to multiple Rose Bowls. They've won multiple Pac-12 titles. That's an upper-level Pac-12 program playing a mid-level Big Ten. Hope the upper level wins, and the upper level's playing at home. This game is on the farm. Just like I talked about hour number 1. Last year, the Washington Huskies played Auburn in Atlanta. And last year, Auburn was a mid-level SEC team. Washington won the Pac-12. They went to the Rose Bowl. Auburn beat them. The best team the Pac-12 had last year, my Washington Huskies, lost to a mid-level SEC team, Auburn. So mid-level SEC was beating the best the Pac-12 had to offer on somewhat of a neutral site. Is that going to be the case again Saturday, Jerry's World, 4:30 Pacific time on ABC? Oregon versus Auburn? Because right now, Oregon is what Washington was last year, right? Oregon's picked by everybody to win the conference this year. The AP poll has the Ducks ranked 11th. They're the highest rated team in the Pac-12 right now. Oregon. Auburn's ranked 16th. And they have a murder face schedule, does Auburn. They could be a really good team and go 8-4 this year. Look at their schedule. It's insanely tough. I don't know if I've ever seen a schedule as tough as Auburn's. I'm not joking. But is Oregon going to do this year what Washington did last year? Lose to a mid-level, upper mid-level SEC team? You got to go back to the Rose Bowl. Marcus Mariota versus Jameis Winston. That was the 2014 season, the 2015 Rose Bowl. You got to go back to that game when the last time the Pac-12 had an impressive win against a non-con Power 5 opponent. Dude, that's 5 years ago. That's how long it's been since the Pac-12 had a really impressive win against a Power 5 opponent. an A-level opponent like Florida State, who was at the time the defending national champions, and Oregon and Mariota, if you remember, they just knocked their teeth out. Oregon just smoked them. And then they lost to Ohio State a week later in the Natty. But that's how long it's been. I mean, fine, prove me wrong on that. Give me another game. I mean, what? USC beating Penn State in the Rose Bowl a few years back? Sam Darnold versus Trace McSorley and Saquon Barkley? USC was favored that game. They should have won that game. It's been a while, Pac-12 folks. And this weekend, here we are. Games are going on right now. UCLA is currently losing 10-7 at Cincinnati. You know who I feel sorry for in college football? I feel sorry for defensive coordinators in college football. It is so dadgum hard to play defense at the FBS Power 5 level. It is so hard to defend. Everybody rips Oklahoma's defense, and I get it. Yeah, womp womp. And they got Alex Grinch, my main man over there at Wazoo back in the day, just to try to shore up. That you just keep them under 30, and we'll win every game. Just keep them under 30. I mean, that's what the big level teams in college football, these mega offenses. Oklahoma last year averaged like 700 yards a game. I feel sorry. I feel sorry for defensive coordinators in college football. Like, dude, it's an unfair fight. You got to be opportunistic. You need the ball to bounce your way. You got to get lucky here and there. It's so stinking hard to play defense now. I mean, seriously, feel sorry for those cats. Crazy times. Ballgame show, bench warmers, pub and grill.
I'm here at the year's hottest stag pool party.
Put your antlers up.
Where? Some poor guy's backyard. These stags are bringing down the house. Seriously, deer are ripping holes in the pool cover. They're trampling patio furniture. And all the damage was covered, thanks to Farmers Insurance. Stag Pool Party, October 27th, 2014. Talk to a farmer's agent. We know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
See your local Farmers Insurance agent, Greg Blackman, in LeGrand.
This season, the Boise State Broncos are looking to continue dominating the Mountain West.
Throws it for the right side, and the ball is caught. Is it inbounds? Yes! Touchdown! What a catch!
With 4 young QBs looking to lead the Broncos to the postseason and another bowl win.
Unbelievable!
Be there with the team all season long, right here on the Broncos Sports Network from Learfield IMG College.
Grand Ron Hospital Elgin Clinic is pleased to welcome Corey Dubray, adult nurse practitioner, to the team. Corey has been a registered nurse and clinic manager for Grand Ron Hospital for many years and knows our community well. We are so proud to be able to keep her on our care team. For more information about Corey, check out our provider directory at grh.org or call the Elgin Clinic for an appointment at 541-437-2273.
Oregon State football has returned to Reser Stadium for head coach Jonathan Smith's second season back with the Beavers. Single game tickets are available starting as low as $24 via phone or in person at the Gill box office. Prices vary by location. Don't miss any of the fantastic action this year. To secure your seats, call a representative at 541-737-2050 or visit beavertickets.com today.
A blind boy in Ecuador struggling to make friends. Villagers in tsunami-devastated Indonesia trying to rebuild their lives. Children in the Philippines with no school and no library. These are people in need. But luckily, they have you. Since 1917, members of the Lions Club have been helping people in their own communities improve their lives and better the area around them. For information on how to join, call the Oregon Lions at 866-623-9053 or visit lionsofOregon.org.
Don't miss another season of the Lindy's Football Report on Super Talk Radio. Hi, everyone. I'm Graham Dunn, your host every Thursday evening at 5:30 and on Saturday mornings early at 4:30. Listen to me, as well as my co-host Michael Butler, discuss college football with insight from coaches, writers, and reporters, keeping you up to speed on all the big topics. So tune us in on KLBM in LeGrand and KBKR in beautiful Baker City. The Lindy's Football Report on Super Talk AM, the talk of Eastern Oregon.
More than 7.7 million American teenagers participate in high school sports every year, including about 101,000 here in Oregon. They're all learning essential life lessons, like the importance of hard work, time management, and self-discipline, skills that are helping them become better leaders and more active, responsible citizens. This message presented by the Oregon School Activities Association and the Oregon Athletic Directors Association.
Boomer Radio in Union and Baker Counties is once again your home for Seattle Seahawks football. With legendary broadcaster Steve Rabel on the call, Seahawk games on the radio are can't-miss action. Every touchdown, every sack. Boomer Radio 105.9 FM in LeGrand and 95.3 in Baker City. Seattle Seahawks football, one of the premier teams in the NFL. For an opportunity to broadcast your business's commercials during Hawks football, call Pacific Empire Radio at 963-4121.
For a second there, I thought you disappeared. It rains a lot this time of year. And we both go together if one falls down. I talk out loud like you're still around. No, no.
All right, welcome back. Johnny Ballgame Show, Bench Warmers Pub and Grill tonight. All 32 NFL teams are playing in the thank you, finally, NFL Week 4 preseason finale. The NFL begins its regular season a week from tonight. Pretty much a week from right now. Bears-Packers on that opening kickoff Thursday. Cannot wait for that stuff. It's funny, my boy Shay comes on this show on Tuesdays for Fill in the Blank. He made a bet with some Yahoo coworker of his, and the bet is, will Russell Wilson play tonight? He better not stinking play tonight. It's week 4. I saw everything I needed to see from Russell last week against the LA Chargers. Offense, moved the ball. We're good. Russell Wilson should not be playing week 4 of preseason. He has a Raider friend, and no wonder this guy said what he said. He was kind of a schmohawk. He's a Raider fan. But my boy Shay said his Raider buddy bet him that Russell Wilson would play tonight. If Russell Wilson plays, my boy Shay has to pay this Raider Yahoo $100. If Russell Wilson does not play, the Raider Yahoo needs to get the Seahawk logo cut into his hair. Look, I'll tell you this, Shay, if you're tuned in. You want to know the quarterbacks who are playing right now? Here's a list of the quarterbacks who are currently playing. Kyle Sloter, Jake Dolagate, Luke Falk, go Cougs, Will Greer, Danny Etling, Garrett Gilbert, Jarrett Stidham, Dwayne Haskins, Tyler Bray, Ryan Griffin, Kyle Shermer, Jake Rudock, Joe Webb. Those are the quarterbacks that are currently playing. You really think Russell Wilson is going to be in this list? On that list, you Raider Yahoo? You Raider schmohawk, knobhead block, whatever? Russell Wilson's not playing tonight. Hey, Shay, be sure to take a nice picture of Raider Yahoo's head, because I want to see that logo. And if not, hell, I will eat my words completely if Russell Wilson's going to somehow, some way play on a week 4. But again, those are the quarterbacks who are playing. Joe Webb, Jake Rudock, Ryan Shermer, Ryan Griffin, Tyler Bray, Jarrett Stidham, Garrett Gilbert, Danny Etling, Will Greer, Luke Falk, go Cougs, Jake Dolagala. He's playing right now. He started tonight for the Bengals. Jake Dolagala. And Kyle Sloter. Yeah, I'm sure these guys all, you know what this is? Hey, have fun in the NFL while it lasts, kid. Go out slinging. Russell Wilson better not be playing tonight. I don't even want him to dress. So, yeah, dude. Island City Speed Lube, fastest oil change you'll find in Eastern Oregon. Go see Brock and the crew. Love those guys. Enjoy your football tonight. I love it. I will turn the microphone on tomorrow at 3 p.m. I can't wait. That's going to be a fun one. Before I get you out of here, though, this is a really cool deal that my buddies at All Air HVAC are doing. Just hear me out real quick on this. They're going to help with Lennox give a family in need a heater and cooling system. They're going to install it in the home. They're going to give it to them for free. And what we can do is you need to nominate a family that you know would be in need of this. It gets cold in the summer. I'm sorry, in the winter. It gets hot in the summer. So what you can do, I need you to go to feelthelove.com. That's all you do. feelthelove.com, and you nominate a family that you think is in need of an all-new, brand-new, free system from Lennox, like the best brand in the business. And a big shout-out to the crew, Signey, Scott, the crew at All Air HVAC. They're helping do this. So get there and nominate somebody. Until then, we'll get you the Lindy's football report after these messages. That's all I got.
September, a good month to get a great deal on a hot spring spa. Soak your body and relax the budget with big rebates. Get an instant $1,000 rebate on the High Life Collection or $500 on the Limelight Collection. Don't miss your window of savings from September 13th through the 23rd, and don't miss your window of relaxation. Hot Spring Spas, leader in quality and features. Headache-free delivery and service while you relax on your terms. That's the Tub Life. Call or stop by Claude's and Soak today.
Grumpy's Repair is located on H Avenue just off I-84 in Baker City. And it's not just the location which makes Grumpy's convenient. Your car is an investment and deserves the tender, loving care Grumpy's can provide. Grumpy's uses fully up-to-date diagnostic test equipment for all vehicles to locate problems fast, which is convenient for you. Grumpy's only uses highly trained, certified professionals that will guarantee your car will perform at peak performance. Now that's convenient. Just off I-84 in Baker City. Grumpy's Repair.
Hey, Rip City, the Portland Trail Blazers are celebrating their 50th anniversary with you, LeGrand and Baker City. The 7th annual Rip City Rally will kick off this year, September 9th in downtown Baker City and Tuesday, September 10th in downtown LeGrand. Many Trailblazer personalities will participate. TV broadcasters Kevin Calabro, Lamar Hurd, courtside reporter Brooke Olzendam, and Trailblazer alumni, in addition to the mascot Blaze the Trail Cat and Blazer dancers. The visit in both LeGrand and Baker City will conclude with a ceremonial flag raising with city officials, followed by a free community fair from 4 to 6 p.m. featuring activities for all ages. Visit trailblazers.com/rally for more information. 50 years, Rip City.
Rip City, baby.
Oregon State football returns to Reser Stadium this fall for head coach Jonathan Smith's second season back with the Beavers. Season tickets are now available with a limited quantity starting at $99 via phone or in person at the Gill box office. The season starts August 30th. Don't miss the action.